Okay, at this time, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. I'd like to thank all the visitors for being here, for our council meeting. And at this time, I'm gonna call on Dennis England to lead us in prayer. If you would, please.
God, tonight, I do thank you for what all you have given each one of us. Thank you for the food that we have in our cabinets, the warm house each one of us goes home to. And God, I just ask you to help all of us tonight in this meeting. And God, that it would be a meeting that would be pleasing in your eyes and just go with us. And God, we love you so much. And I ask that you continue to help everyone that is in a need. Thank you for all you have given us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Okay, somebody give a roll call, please.
Okay, I have Trevor,
Here.
Christie,
Here.
Dennis,
Here.
Rodney, and Mitzi.
Here.
Okay, I think you've all received your copy of the minutes for the February 26th council meeting, our last council meeting. And have y'all all had a chance to look at the minutes that was given to you? Okay.
All right.
All right. I'd like to hear a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay. Got a motion, here a second?
Second.
I got a second.
Trevor,
Yes.
Mitzi.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you've also received the financials from the February 2024. Have y'all had a chance to review those that were sent to you or given to you by somebody?
I was just wondering, after the Monday work session, we were talking about the tax not being distributed correctly. I'm assuming that's what they're gonna go over, or is
Yes.
that, okay, so we don't need to discuss that this time,
No.
okay.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion? There's a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Christie and Mitzi.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And Melissa Christopher is on her way. She said she would be
Oh.
here in about 5 minutes, so if we could skip her and do
Okay.
somebody else and then go back to her, please.
We still got Andrew that's gonna be on the virtual.
I reached out to Andrew via email and messaged him today, and I didn't get any response as to phone number or should we call him.
I know he was going out of town, so
Okay,
I'm
there's
not
Darcy.
sure where he's at exactly.
Well, he was gonna, we were gonna call him and do it from
Yeah,
here.
he said something about it, but I just,
Okay.
I don't know.
I texted him today to see maybe his process, and he said that, hey Trevor, we won't have a drawing ready for tonight, but wanted to share this from Melissa. Okay, so I'm just gonna read what he said, and we'll go from there. And Samantha, I can send this to you, so you don't have to worry about writing everything down.
Okay.
Write that, okay? Phase 1 of our Field of Dreams would be to acquire land. Phase 2, we have already received several in-kind donations for the development of the land to get it ready for fields and structures to be placed. That phase would begin pretty immediate, in my opinion. That's in his opinion. Well, that was from Melissa. Okay. Immediately after acquiring land and beginning development, we would be applying for grants to see what we can get to help cost of creating each thing. For example, 4 baseball fields, concrete for parking lot, 500 car is a goal. Playground, concessions, bathroom, and gym. I'll copy this text this on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry I hadn't, kind of busy when I got home today. Depending on where that is after development of land is complete, we would discuss what we could do / purchase out of the recreation account to get even one field ready. I feel like if we can even get a field good and ready for practice, the functionality of being able to host games will come shortly after. This land isn't going to be sitting idle. We will use it for whatever we can, raising money and grants. Darcy will be in attendance tonight, but not presenting anything, just there in case you guys have questions. So technically, we don't need to be on the agenda tonight. We'll work on drawing and send something ASAP. So what I kind of took from that, and I will get to this before we get out here tonight, you know, it just goes back up there to phase one, you know, just to acquire the land, to have the purchase of the land. I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but I know you mentioned it last time, something, or somebody about leasing. Yeah, something about leasing some land. So I don't know, I think what we could do from here, unless Darcy's got anything to speak on Andrew's behalf, is to maybe table Andrew again, and let's put him on the next agenda. I can reach out to him, to reach to you, to put him on the agenda.
Yeah.
And let's just see where we can go with it, and I'll get this to y'all. And if I forget, y'all shoot me a text, remind me to get it to y'all.
Yeah, because we still wanted to meet again together to go over what y'all had discussed about the lease and everything.
Okay.
Because we generally talked about it some, but not met in person. We haven't had a chance to meet in person to really discuss all of it, so.
Right. Well, I can tell you this, we haven't met in person either to discuss the lease either.
Alright.
Okay, so
Sounds good.
there's, yeah, so both ends are just,
Same
we're
boat.
still there. It
Okay.
seems like we're at the bottom or at the top, whichever way we want to
Okay.
be. And so let's just table this thing for another one, if everybody's in agreement with that. And get Andrew back in town maybe.
Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds good.
Okay.
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
One question I have before we go on to the next. So the grants, you know, that was kind of one of the main reasons you guys went out as
Mhm.
on your own. Have y'all applied for any, and have you been successful with any of them so far?
I think it was RCNC, I can't remember exactly what it was called. Yeah, we got the drainage system put in for 10,000 at the fields now through that. And there's some that we haven't, we just didn't want to apply for a whole bunch with adding a lot of new updates to those if we could have new land to put new things, you know what I'm saying? If you understand.
Yeah.
We've definitely found grants, but we kind of waited to see where we can get at with the property before we go and applying for a bunch, because we weren't sure what was happening.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. We were dropping back for a second here. Melissa Christopher,
Yes.
board chairman, she wanted to speak to us about the future of animal shelter.
I don't know how y'all hold your stuff. We have a podium at the other meeting, so. So I'm Melissa Christopher. Some of y'all know me as the nursing teacher at the career tech school or trade school. My boss cringes when anybody says trade school. So I'm not supposed to say that, but.
That's the only thing some of us know.
Yeah, I tried to get him to get us a t-shirt that said not your mama's trade school, but he said absolutely not, so. There's another one on there, that's just some.
And I was one of the first students over there when I was a junior.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
What'd you take?
Business. Miss Thorne.
We didn't use swamp.
Okay. So I was trying to print out everything I was gonna say, but my printer and I were not getting along. So, anyway, I don't want to forget it.
You can probably say it off the top of your head.
I probably can.
You probably said it enough
I
times.
have.
We appreciate you coming and sharing with us.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me. So, about a year and a half ago, I quit my other, because y'all know all teachers have part-time jobs because, you know, we just do. I quit my other job and gave up all of my RN income in the emergency room to focus on getting us an animal shelter. I'm sure everybody in this room knows that our county is struggling with stray animals. There are just dogs dropped out everywhere. There are cat issues too. but the dog issues seem to be plaguing us more than anything. I get calls every day. Somebody dropped a dog out here, somebody dropped a dog out there. I don't have anywhere to put them. And the commissioners are constantly, having to deal with that. So, the county commission and the city of Heflin came to an agreement that if they could find a nonprofit to run the shelter, because that makes us eligible for more like grant money than a government agency would be, that they would throw in and build a facility. So the county commission put $200,000 towards the build. They have given that check over to the city of Heflin. The city of Heflin is doing the building and taking up the rest of that cost for the initial build. My job is to see that we have startup operating funds. I'm not comfortable opening the animal shelter until we have a year in reserve. I don't want to open it and have 40 animals on premises and then I can't pay the staff and I can't pay the bills and then I have to close and figure out where to put these 40 animals. So by our estimates, it would cost us, and it hurts my feelings just saying this, but it would cost us about $200,000 for a year. That's employing your staff, caring for your animals, spaying and neutering, any education programs we do, food, utilities. Sewage is a real big thing because dog feces does not dissolve. You can't put it in regular stuff. You either have to bag it up and freeze it and have a company come haul it off, or you have to have it pumped every month. Yeah, I know. They'll be flushing it down the toilet anymore, you'll regret it. So it's a lot more than, people look at home-based rescues and it's a totally different world to have an actual and the health department codes that you have to go by for that. So we're out here trying to raise money, of course, because everybody needs money. We'll be set up for about 40 animals. We'll have isolation areas for when they first come in. We'll go by the state code with the 7-day hold. So of course we want any support that we can get. Fruit Hearst sent us a check last month. I think they've committed to like a quarterly donation. We're just grateful for anything we get. I mean, I know people want numbers. We're wide open, whatever you want to do. We have 7 board members. We are looking to have some more board members, diversify, because right now it's all women. We haven't found any men that weren't already employed by the city or the county, which was a conflict to be on our board. So we definitely need some more input there. So I guess y'all anybody got questions?
How many employees?
We're looking at we're modeling after Randolph County's shelter. They've been gracious and let us come, and us and the commissioners both went, and I actually job shadowed over there one day. They have 3.5 employees and they hold 60. So we're looking at about 3 full-time employees plus whatever volunteers that we can get.
How much do y'all anticipate charging for the services?
We haven't really nailed down what we would charge. We have talked about it as far as surrender fees, but we haven't nailed that down because our building's not even built, our ground's not broken. So most places charge you whatever they have to pay for spay and neuter, because the Alabama requires that before you adopt an animal out, you have either a commitment of spay and neuter in writing or that you've already had them neutered. And that's going to be a big part of what we're going to do. We want to educate the community and get to this root cause and make spay and neuter more accessible for our county. Alspay, which is the Alabama spay and neuter that has the cheaper options, they don't have room on their calendar for their truck to come to our county. However, if we had a truck, they're willing to work with us on a calendar day. So that's one of our goals, is to have transport. Before I started this, that's actually what I was doing. If any of y'all have ever seen Polly's Pals, I was hauling whatever animals would ride with me to Cleburne County, from Cleburne County to Wedowee once a month. On the second Tuesday of every month, they come to Wedowee. On the second and fourth Monday of every month, they come to Coldwater. They don't come to, and then Calhoun County has some great snippet tickets where they cut the cost off of that even more. But we just don't have affordable access. And then getting there, if you're going to Wedowee, you've got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that means you got to leave here real early. And we had already gotten the okay from Pastor Keith at on 205 exit. I can't remember that.
That'd be good.
Focus was Bethel, that we could use their parking lot as the pickup drop off point for that.
So the process, I find a dog on my property.
Yeah.
And it's a stray.
Mm-hmm.
I bring him to you
Mm-hmm.
during opening hours, and you come into the whatever office there.
Yeah.
You take him in, you take the dog in.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that process from then.
So you would bring the dog in, we would do a 7-day stray hold, that's what Alabama requires, and then we would make every attempt to find the owner. We would provide care for the dog during the time it was with us. If no owner comes forth, then we're gonna get that dog fixed, get them vetted, and work on getting them adopted or transported to a rescue. If it's a dog that needs medical care, a lot of medical care, that's where we run into an issue because we're not gonna have 24-hour staff. So then we need our fosters to come together. We wanna build a foster network that we support. I did a survey with the community to see what the biggest barriers were. I would foster a dog if I had such and such. So we want to get kennels that they can like lease from us. And when they're, as long as they're fostering art animals, they can keep those kennels. And then if they're not gonna foster for us anymore, then they return them and we have somebody else do that. But we provide the food and the medical care and they provide the care. I feel like there are a lot of people in our community who have the desire to take care of animals, who have the time to take care of animals, but they don't have the financial resources. And then I feel like we have people who has the financial resources to take care of them, but they don't have the time or the desire maybe. And if we could just marry those people and be a resource in the middle where we can all come together, that we can get this stray thing under control. And it's not just us. This is a nationwide issue. When COVID hit, everybody adopted all of these puppies because they were at home and they were sad and they were lonely, so they all got pets. And then they all went back to work and they couldn't take care of their pets. And the shelters nationwide, their capacity went up 25%. Every shelter in the country blew up and got full. Animals are being euthanized just left and right.
And you're no kill, yours is gonna be no kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
No kill means that your euthanasia rate is under 10% because there's always a dog that has, or cat that has to be put down either for health reasons, they're suffering, or sometimes if they're really aggressive. And back to your question about the process. I do want to be clear, we're not dog catchers. Our insurance is going to cover us to function on our property. Animal control is a function of law enforcement. That's according to the Alabama code. But our law enforcement, their hands are tied because we have no shelter. So if law enforcement picks up an animal or gets a call about an animal, there's nothing they can do unless the dog is aggressive. If the animal is aggressive, they can put it down. That's their only option. And our guys don't want to do that. They absolutely don't. Most of them are animal lovers, have dogs themselves, and so their hands are tied. They have no recourse every time somebody, they call me, police department call me, I'm like, where do we put them?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want these drawings back?
You could, up to you.
I wrote on mine.
That's fine.
You can have that one back.
If you want it, that right there, is probably what you want.
And this was just like, this is what we went by. Those are the outside.
Kennels.
Yeah.
How far are you
You can have that with
$200,000
that.
dollars.
get that one. We're at 10,000.
Okay.
So we're not broke, but we're not rich. And we have a $6,000 grant from RCND for our office equipment, computers, furniture. We have a bunch of furniture in storage. There was a school in Georgia that got rid of a whole bunch of like filing cabinets and tables and shelves. We got that and put it in storage. Fruit First Store gave us some stuff this week. We didn't want to buy our computer stuff with that grant money until we got closer to opening because, you know, it gets obsolete in no time.
Right. And how long does it take to earn the, or,
It's taken a while.
yeah, I know you've been working on this a long time.
It's taken a while. We were established, I think, was it September of 22 or August of 22? Is when we got started. Randolph County took 10 years to raise $100,000 before they opened. 10 years. And y'all, I know we can do better.
Yeah.
This is what I've said, and this is nothing against Randolph County. I used to live in Randolph County, awesome people there. But if Randolph County can have a shelter, Cleburne County can have a shelter. Yeah. So,
Thank you so much.
y'all can
Thank you.
call me, email me, I can send you any other information y'all need.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay. Next on the agenda is Josh Caldwell. He will speak to us about the petition for annexation.
Not real sure what the protocol is. I know I've been talking about it for a while and just figured I'd quit talking about it. There's that. You know, we're all time talking about this here little town grow. And, or I feel like there's potential to grow. That, I asked 4 people if they would like to come in just on River Road, because we're on the peninsula out there. It's like we forgot about from the county. And we start out in the city on our road, and then it's just like nothing. So, in my little doings or what have you, I've had one thing go wrong on my road as far as something getting stolen, and it was terrible trying to get, well, actually, Steve come and actually took the report, and he said, you know, this is going nowhere, right, because you really belong to the county. But the county kept sending me back to the city, you know. So, anyway, kind of what we deal with being on that peninsula out there. I sent out a text to 3 other people, and we ended up with interest in 3 of them coming in. I think Justin has already signed his stuff to come in. Bailey was like, yeah, I'm cool with it. And I'm sure that there's more down that road that would be interested in it. Now what that looks like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm 40 foot from the line right now. With Justin coming in, our lines would butt against each other, and that would make it real simple. With Bailey coming in, our lines would butt against each other, and that would make it simple. I guess what I'm getting at, if there is that need in my area right there, because as of right now, I mean, we have no absolute, we're governed by basically Ranburne, and we're taking from Ranburne's resources, but we're not giving back to Ranburne on anything, and we have no say in anything that goes on in Ranburne. But if you ask anybody, where are you from? Ranburne. You know, if I'm having that issue, there's a lot more that are having that issue, and it might just be, you know, just putting out something saying, hey, if you're interested in coming in the city limits, now's the time. And grow that tax base a little bit, because God knows we need that. Just everybody, seems like every time I come up here, you know, somebody's needing some money for something, or somebody, you know, and I mean, squeezing blood out of the turnip getting kind of hard, you know. So that little bit extra right there, I believe we have opportunity to grow right there. So that's my little piece. Don't know if I did it right or not, but there it is.
I didn't know it was that simple.
What's that?
I didn't know it was that simple.
Yeah, I believe it is. As long as you're touching, and that is.
So your property does touch us then?
My property touches Justin, Justin's touches yours. So, yeah.
Okay.
That'll, yeah, I've got the map or what, I should have brought the map, we come in here in 2 wheels. But, anyway, but yeah, it is, should be that simple. Right,
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
yeah.
Okay, next we got Yolanda Watkins. And I guess that, we got down here in the old business, we're probably gonna have to put this together, I guess. With the continued discussion on sales and use of parking avenue and opportunity for any questions to the representative. So,
I can do a one-stop shop.
Okay.
I didn't know you was coming, I'm glad you did.
That's two. Good evening. I think all y'all remember I'm the one with Avenue, we do the tax collection and business license for Ranburne. We've been doing it since actually November of last year. So I put together just a, this is a net comparison report that Miss Samantha can have access to, and you can give them this every month if you want to, and it compares month to month, year to year, how things are going with sales tax collection. Of course, it's really little right now, but because we've only been doing it for like 3 or 4 months right now. So this shows you exactly where we are. Then I put together on the second page a report. It's called a reconciliation summary report. So I ran the report from October 2023 till to date, and so far we've collected $86,741.05 for you all for taxes. And as you can see that it shows you what our administration fees are, which right now is at $51.74 just to collect that amount for you all, but that's going to increase because I think we got some fee adjustments, so it's only going to be about $1,400 that adjustment is going to be. And then we break it out by, you'll see the next report shows how much we've collected for business license. Then I put together the gasoline tax for you, showing you that amount, as well as what has gone into the sales use general fund as well. And the last sheet that I put on the report is, I think last year when I came to present to you all, I did an actual fee comparison. So you can see, and I compared where you all were with the state and where you all are now as far as tax collection is concerned. So I can address any questions that you all might have concerning tax collection, because as you know, taxes are due by the 20th of the month. And just as a reminder, I think it was last March that the PJ police jurisdiction, when I say PJ, that's what I mean, police jurisdiction, that went into effect, whereas if you didn't send in your report by a certain date, that if you couldn't collect sales taxes or business license in the police jurisdiction. So that could be why some of your sales taxes are down right now. But I just wanted to make you all aware of that. And I know that there's, I can't think of the mayor's name, but there is a mayor that's trying to get everyone, all the cities that kind of got left out of that, trying to band them together, to bring them together. So, because there's a bill before the legislation now to try to reverse that law.
Good.
So, I would say if you all do as much as you can to try to get that law
Can you put
reversed.
us in touch with that person?
I can find an email.
You have, who is it?
His name is Bubba,
Bubba, all right.
Bubba, okay, now.
I forgot what
Anyway,
city he's
I
in.
think he's from Parish, he's the mayor of Parish, and he sent out an email to everybody. Yolanda sent it to me. I got in touch with him. His representative is Tim Sorry, but he's the representative, and he's the one that has proposed, he's the one that has come up with this House Bill 185, but he's being told that it's not gonna go anywhere. And so what he's wanting to do is to have all these towns that were affected by this to band together and go down to Montgomery and see if we can coerce them into changing that law to make it where everybody can. So that's where it is right now.
Right. So I can answer any questions that you all have.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna jump in so we can kind of go back to where we
Okay.
were on Monday and just kind of fill in some gaps. And I'm hoping whatever I ask, then y'all just jump in whenever you need to. I'm not trying to intercede, I'm just gonna jump in there. Okay, today I gave y'all a list of businesses. Remember, a business license was a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be this long list, sorry, it's 3 pages, it was quickly. So the light shaded area is, they were sold by Avenue only in '24, okay? If you, my biggest thing is if we had businesses from '23, which is the darker shaded, that purchased, but yet they haven't purchased in '24. So, Yolanda, how do we contact those, like, are you guys sending out a follow-up business
Oh, yes.
license letter?
We send out 3 renewal notices on your behalf. So the second business license was due by January 31st. So because of the slow process of mail, so we're waiting probably till the end of this month, the first part of April, we'll send out the second notice. And then I think the third notice will go back out in June as well.
All right.
So we do send out 3 renewal notices.
Okay, and there's no charge for that in
No.
addition to what we're
No.
already paying? Okay.
No.
What now with the audit process? Because what I understood from the state of Alabama is they charge nothing for audit. But obviously, you and I've looked at it, and we've had one audit, and I know there's questions on it.
Mhm.
We'll work through that to figure out. What I understand is we can request an audit, but also, like, if you guys notice some kind of, I don't remember what activity.
Yeah,
that would
if
warrant-
we're doing an audit and we see some activity that might spike another audit that maybe help you all out, that they're not remitting taxes, then
Okay,
we'll
so-
do an audit on that.
Because our budget is what it is, and it might be tight, how do we take control of how much that audit is gonna cost us? How much are we gonna gain by that audit, and we make a decision, is it even worth it for
Right.
us?
That's kind of hard, and I'll put you in contact. I told you I was going to let Leslie contact you,
Yes.
who's our auditing manager. I don't want to speak too much on audit because I'm not an audit expert, but I've been doing this for 20 years. So we can do one or two things. We can put you on a prior approval for audits, or we can cap your audit budget, saying we don't want to spend over $5,000 a year on audits. So we can do either one of those things. It's kind of hard because you all are in a small community, and a lot of revenue is not generated right here. It's not brick and mortar that's right here. It's
Right.
those that are coming from outside. So it's kind of hard. I've been told it's kind of hard to say yay or nay on audits if you want to approve them or not, because you might see, I've never heard of this business or anything. They're not here, so we don't need to audit. So it's kind of difficult, but like I said, you can put a cap on audit fees. So if you want to say we only want to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on audits, that's perfectly fine with us, and we can work within those constraints. Or if you want to be on prior approval, we can do that as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it down on a to-do for us is to discuss whether we'd rather do prior approval or audit budget. I have that down. Okay, so going back to this insurance tax that is paid through the state, does that have anything to do with y'all? Does any of that come through?
Insurance tax?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that. You talking about what the insurance companies pay
Mm-hmm.
for their business license?
I guess it's called business license. It
Yeah,
just
it's
comes
due
in
by March the 30th.
15th.
Yeah, March
15th.
15th. And it's based on a percentage of how much they wrote for that
Yes.
year.
Yes.
So it might fluctuate.
So-
One year you might get $144,000. One year you might get $10. So it depends on how much insurance they're writing in your area.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and that's at like 1/6% or something
Yes,
like that.
and that's precisely what the state said to us, guys, that, we had 10,000 last year and we have 3,000 this year. And you'll remember, go back to that email, and he said it just totally depends on what they're writing, or in this case, not writing.
And what I would recommend, if you're not participating in the league of municipalities, do like a discovery recovery only for insurance company. Participate in that program because they can they have a software that can identify those insurance companies that possibly owe you all money, and I think the split may be 50-50. So it doesn't cost you anything, and they don't charge anything until they find revenue, and then you split it 50-50.
What's the name of the program again?
It's called
Discovery.
Discovery Recovery, but it's through the League of Municipalities. Whereas we have the same program, but we go after all other business licenses. So for cities that we do business license administration for, we'll send them over a list of everybody that we, like all the insurance companies that have paid us for the year. And then they'll go do their scrubbing and identify others that might go.
Do you know if we're a part of that, Rodney?
Yeah, what,
Are we a part of that with the league? Do you know?
Discovery Recovery.
not that I've heard, I've never heard that.
Yeah, call and talk to them about it. It's a great program. I tell people all the time to, do that for insurance companies.
Okay, I have that now as okay, now I'm gonna go back to what Yolanda has already said to you, but I just want to drive it home. Remember, when we met on Monday, they had not charged us fees at that point. So for January, February, March, our fees total $1,400
To them?
that we have not been charged to date.
And what was it? Remind me, because we looked and we were so, and now I see this insurance tax and I see that there's $7,000. But last year we had 6,600 at the time of this report. We had 6,600 in business license, but this year we had 5,630, which 2,382 was locally.
Right.
So,
And these are gonna be the dark shaded. Those are ones that we can we can say, okay, they bought last year and they haven't bought this year. So she'll cover that in this second mailing. So I think after the second mailing, obviously you give them time, roll it through the system. But then I think we look at that again in May and make a tighter comparison and just see where we are.
Because I think if you look at this third sheet and it has business license, we're at, from October to now, we're at $9,400 in business license.
That's not what I ran though. I ran,
Okay.
oh gosh, no, I ran 5,600, 5,630.
Because I just ran this today, or yesterday.
and you're showing 9 something?
95.
Yeah, if you look at that report,
94.49, 94.50
$94.49, yeah.
because of your fees.
Okay. Well, that helps.
Well, I mean, that's huge over what we had last year,
And
but
so that money, that 90, that
where
plus,
did $3,000 come from in a week?
I can run a detail. You can go in there and
I
run a
will,
detail.
I will, I'm just shocked.
Yeah. Run a detail payment and see, because mail is very, very slow. I just had a client say, I sent y'all something last year certified and I'm just getting back my green card the other day. So run a detail payment list and then you can just drop down and select
I ran
business
this
license.
report on 3/14, so it's been 10 days.
Yeah.
And
We're always processing money,
okay.
for sure.
Okay.
And
and
then what
that,
was this, I'm sorry,
no,
I don't even know my question, go ahead.
so that, when will we see that? When will,
Their payments come through.
All the
All
time,
the
like
time.
so this probably has been already, depending on, because I ran this yesterday, so she can run a payment detailed payment listing. It's a reconciliation detail for the whole year, and you can see days that money has hit the bank.
Sure.
okay.
Because she can use that to reconcile the bank statement by.
Yeah, I just ran the summary. Y'all will notice on the sheets that we ran, I ran the summary report.
Yeah,
And I can
anything
run the
that's on
detailed
this,
report.
unless it came in today, but I just ran this yesterday.
That's just
so.
gonna be one of those things
Yeah.
that I can't share, but I can at least, I mean, I'm just shocked about the $3,000. I don't know.
You could
what-
share the money, you just can't share the.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that would be the big key part, and I understand the folks.
For sure.
Yeah. But you
But
could share
I'll run that report.
monthly on what we could.
For sure.
On business license and sales tax on a monthly basis.
Yeah, she can run this report, the comparison report, or the reconciliation summary
Okay.
report.
Okay.
And she can give you all that, because it'll break it out by gas tax, business license, general fund, so you can see all this.
So is that also, because looking at this, like comparing of November of '22 versus November of '23, there was four, November 22, we had 20,800. And then November of 23, which was after we got Avenue, it was 16,713.
So,
Is
when
that the same issue we got?
no, I don't, I think because when I did the comparison and ran the reports and got the information from, I think it was Jan at the time, I showed for December and November and December, you all didn't receive any revenue from the state.
That's like, we're comparing apples to apples, November of '22 and November of '23.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so November of 22, we had collected $20,600. But then November of 23, we collected basically $4,000 less.
Now you gotta think about, you lost your PJ. So if y'all had any business or any revenue that was coming from the PJ, that's gone, including business license. So I don't know what that was.
2 businesses.
Yeah, so depending on what they had going on out there, I mean, you got the business license part of it and the use tax or sales tax or whatever, so you lost that for sure. So that's the reason I'm saying you might have a drop in revenue.
Yolanda, just for an example, do you remember the one business that we identified that's coming off? It's in the police jurisdiction. Remember, they've been paying, but they won't be paying. Remember the one business?
I can't remember.
I know, but how much was it?
I can't remember. If you give me the name, I can pull, I can't remember.
I can't remember it. The store has still been paying us.
Oh, really?
And if it's collected, it's coming to us, but next month they will not be paying us. So we're gonna get hit again.
And also,
So yeah, if it's a convenience store, I'm sure it was probably a good chunk of revenue right
And they
there.
sell gas too.
Right.
Also, Alabama Power contacted us, our representative, to let us know that, we normally get about 40 grand out of them as privilege license, business privilege license. And they told us that because of the police jurisdiction, we would not be getting what we've been getting.
Yeah.
It would just be inside the city limits. It will not be in the police jurisdiction. It's going to be a big hit to us and it's at the end of this year. We'll know what the big hit is, on that. So it affects a lot of things, like, for example, anything that went out there like simplified tax, all that goes out the window. There's a lot more than you really think about, that's connected to that, other than just a business out there. You have the simplified tax, like, Lowe's or Home Depot that did business out there.
Right.
They don't have to pay that anymore. But it's gonna be a big hit. It'll be interesting to see what it is when it's finally said.
And just so you all know, there is a couple of bills out there this year to affect sales tax even more. They're trying to take the tax away from feminine products, as well as baby items, baby food, formula, stuff like that. And then it's one more, I can't remember what it is. So that's out there as well. So that's just taking even more and more. But I'm hoping that, as time goes on, that revenue will increase for sure, because as you can see, it did increase some in January. You were at 21,230, and then it dropped down in February, 20,000. So I'm hoping that it will continue to increase. The more that you get into the city limits, the better off you will be, because you will get full rates rather than just half of the rates. So if any of your businesses, this is a time, if any of your businesses want to annex into the city, I would say bring them in, because you can do that.
Does the female touch? Does the female line touch?
They could, let me explain this to you a little bit and this comes from Melinda Daniel. Melinda's one that has to do the mapping, and she gave the example of like Heflin when Anna Berry was there. She annexed all the way out to the interstate out there. And the way they do that, they go right down the edge of the road. If you want in, you're in. If you don't want in, you're out. And that's the way it went all the way to the interstate. So, as long as you can extend it, you know, out from the existing thing. For example, over here at the feed mill, the city limits is right there at Cecil Fat Lane, it's right there. That is the city limits. They could go right up that road right there and annex them in if they wanted to. They would have to be the ones to come, just like this right here. They'd have to come to us and say, we want to be annexed in. So that's as simple as it is, I can tell you, you know.
Well, why haven't we done that? Or why, or should we do that?
They have to
They
ask.
have to ask,
Well,
not us.
Yeah, they have to ask, and plus.
but do they know that?
Yeah,
Do they know it's that simple and they're not, they don't want it?
You
Well,
gotta come down the road first for that to be able to, you know, you gotta come down the road first.
Asking everybody else has sort of got it.
yeah,
Gene would have to agree.
Oh, I
and
thought
then
you said-
Jesse and
no,
I thought you
Sherry
meant,
That's what happened.
you ask, and if they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
And you go to the next one, and if they don't, they don't.
yeah, that's right, that's true.
But everybody has to until
Well-
someone says no, and then that's the end of the line? Is that what, I'm not,
You just, as long as you can extend the line.
they have to say yes.
Yes, and I'll give an example in Tuscaloosa. I don't know if you, Alabama fan, I go that way, so. So anyway, you get to the Mercedes plant, it says city of Tuscaloosa, I mean, it says city limits. Well, if you go look at their map of their city limits, what they did was they extended it right down the median of the interstate. Went down there, took in Mercedes. Anything outside of that area is in the county.
Did they have to get permission from Mercedes to do that?
In other words, they said they wanted to. That was a deal they worked out, you know, they said they wanted to be in the city limits to
Part of the
get,
city.
to get the money. That's what they wanted, the money. And so it is as simple as going out there and just going in and out. And they've done this in Heflin, they've done it up Highway 78, they've done it out 46. I don't know, I mean, that's the only ones I know that I know that do that. But it's gotta be like somebody coming and asking you, you know, we don't, you have to be careful about annexing in some things, like at Highway 46 here. You know, we'd have to take in that, we'd have to be responsible for that bridge down there, you know, on Highway 46 if you go,
If we went on out?
yes.
Well, I'm just thinking, I mean, if we could get the feed mill in the store,
Well, see, the
it
store,
would make our,
now, I don't know this, but I was told that the store, the police jurisdiction was at their front door.
Yeah, right there.
Is that right? I mean,
Yeah, because they just turn around right there.
yeah, that was the mile and a half. It's a mile and a half by state statute. You can't be more than a mile and a half from the existing city limits. And, so that's the PD, police jurisdiction, which they're trying to do away with, period. And hopefully we can, like I said, go down and talk to them, all these towns that have been affected by this.
who is it that we talk to? Like, who is it that holds the power?
The way the legislature works, so they introduce a bill, but it has to go into a committee. And then once that bill come out of committee, then it goes to the floor for a vote. So my understanding, I'm not an expert, is that if the bill comes to committee, that's when you get to talk before the committee.
And then if they pass the bill, if they have a vote in the House and they pass that House bill, which
Then it goes to the Senate.
according to this Bubba, the one that wrote all this, he said that his representative told him that he just didn't see it happening because once they pass it in the House, then it has to go over to the Senate. And the Senate is the one that has to look it over and see if they agree with it. But the problem is that the senator that wrote this bill,
The original bill.
the original bill, he's telling them no. And that's what I've been told by our representatives, that he will not allow, he won't even allow it to come out of committee.
He's from
There's a
Baldwin
lot of
County.
Yeah, I've read about him and
Yeah.
I've called and tried to,
I'm afraid what's happening over there in that part of Walker County and Fayette County, that's a new representative. I'm not sure how much clout he's gonna have, but they had a new election, had a special election here a while back.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much he's still gonna be green, if it's the same one I'm thinking of.
I don't
it hurts a
really
little
know.
town like ours.
It does, it really
You
does.
know?
It's really gonna hurt us. I
Yeah,
mean, we just don't know how much it's gonna hurt us, but it is gonna hurt us. By the end of this fiscal year, we'll know.
Right.
So
And hopefully
I will be a
that
part of it.
you all will get some streamlined sellers use money, so that'll help out, but still, it's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yes, a little lick.
So we're seeing that we should, like 86, 740 in sales tax.
Right.
And that's from when to when? That was from October of
October.
23 to the present day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what we have collected.
And one good thing too is that as we get money in, we go ahead and process it. So as Samantha was saying, we don't hold the money, it comes, she's probably seeing deposits every day almost.
The police jurisdiction taxes that you're seeing in it, like any offset or whatever, started in January of this year. Is that correct?
It started, April of last year, I think. Well, no, it was June, I think it went into effect, June 1st. Yeah, something like that, June 1st of last year.
The $1,400 fee, what is that? What's the fees on that?
That's their portion.
1.something%?
1.9, something like that.
1.9%, wasn't it?
I think, or $2.92. I can, look at that.
Okay.
So it's less than, what, 1%?
And we have not paid that yet. Will y'all they'll charge us for that, you'll bill us for that?
We'll just take it, I
They'll
think,
take it out.
we'll just
Take it
take
out
it
of
out.
the
She'll
taxes.
see it, yeah. We'll
Okay.
just take it out of the
And I told
taxes.
them to do one time,
Yeah.
I mean, they said they can do it every month, but there's no reason to do that. I told them
Right.
to take it and let's go.
Right, okay. What other questions did we have? Is that?
That was all I had because Yolanda and Lori really have been, we've been going back and forth constantly. So I think we're getting close to at least having a good grasp on understanding what's happening.
Right.
And then
Right. And when it comes to business license, the first year is always the rough year because people don't like change. And especially when you're telling them to do something online, they don't want to do that either. But, that's the time we're living in. We're trying, because we have to send every city has to send over to the state a wrap report of all their business licenses that they're collecting in. But so in order to get all the information that we need to send them concerning the business license, we had to put it online. So, and we send that report to them on your behalf. So they get that information electronically every month from us. So that's something Mr. Memphis don't have to worry about.
Right. And we have not updated with what I sold in-house, but I understand that we haven't, and I will have that stuff too, Yolanda. So that the
Add it to
state
her
has it.
list of business licenses.
Right.
So anytime you all have questions, please feel free to contact me. I answer the phone.
We appreciate you coming out.
Oh, no.
And sometimes it's easier when you
Yes,
talk to somebody
Of
face to
course.
face, so we
Of
appreciate
course.
you.
I mean, it helps us to improve too quite a bit on how we're doing and things we need to improve. What reports are out there that you want to see that's not out there and stuff. Because Ms. Samantha tell you that we give a lot of information on all our reports. We have detailed reports out there, so.
I appreciate you coming all the way from Montgomery.
Oh, no problem. Any other questions I can answer?
Just a minute.
Thank you, son.
Okay.
I did tell her she could go ahead and go after she
Yeah,
spoke,
yeah,
so
Okay.
unless y'all have
You
anything.
can go.
No.
And then if you think of something, you can just tell me and we'll
Yeah.
go.
Or call me or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Lonnie. Okay. The next thing is a report. Did Barry come in?
No.
No, he's at a game, but he has given you his monthly report.
I thought I saw it. Okay.
Now, I will sit here and read it to y'all if you want to, or you can just look over it and say, okay, time for tax.
Is the deputy all right? That was in the crash Friday night, or,
I did not even ask Barry today. I apologize.
no, that's fine. I just heard he was in the hospital, whoever it was.
Well, you can just say that. Tasha said he broke his arm, but he's going to recover fine.
Brother Mayfield.
But he's okay.
Yeah.
That was one of their new cars too, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's what I saw in the picture. Month old with that car, 2 months old.
Mhm. He graduated from Ranburne. His sister is Tiffany,
Is that Brad Mayfield?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Yeah, no.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's Barry.
There you go.
Oh, I saw him come in.
I didn't see it.
Hey Barry, we're at your report. Do you need to add anything?
No, I guess.
Okay. You want to say that we just reading?
Huh?
We just reading it right now, just so you walk in, if you need to add
Yeah.
anything, take anything away.
Now, I do know on the, as far as the Tahoe, the radar, I did talk to him today, because he called me and Heflin. That's all they're waiting on. They've been waiting for, I guess, 2 weeks now for just the radar.
Okay.
But they told me today it's being shipped today.
Radar.
Yeah, so we should have it maybe by Thursday, he said, so
Okay.
once they install that, we'll be getting that in, should be getting it in, so, no, so, but, other than that, that's about all.
Have you talked to Jeremy today about his test?
Yeah. He gave me his test and which, he said he
He
done
said he
good,
passed it.
yeah, he done good, so all we're waiting on him to get his paperwork sent into the state is, as far as getting him into the academy, is his birth certificate come in mail. But, we got to April the 6th to get that, to the state, so it should be here sometime this week. He ordered it last week, so it should be, he said if it didn't come in next day or so, he was just gonna go there and get it, so, but we've got to the 6th to get him, to get the paperwork to the state so they can get him in the next available, class at Northeast in Fort McClellan, so.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you, Derek. Next, Senior Center Manager, Tasha Williams.
I brought my whole, everything. So I can lay everything out. I have these that I typed up this week that I wanted to hand out to everyone. This right here is just, something that I had typed up from my book from East Alabama, and it's just a list of the things that is required for myself, my drivers, all that good stuff. I mean, it's 4 pages long, I'm sit there and read it if y'all want to, but
Give
just.
us the Cliff Note version.
I mean, there is none. There is none. Just sit there and read it. The back 2 sheets here are front and back. They are things that are required from East Alabama that they have to go over. We have all of this already listed. Like, as soon as we opened the door, Amanda came through and walked through, and this is just things that is required from us that has to be posted or done or whatever. We have aced all of that. But that's just saying basically everything that is required of all of this. And to save time, I'm not gonna sit here and read every bit of it. You all can read it. Yes. One other thing that I did want to mention. Alright, so these are our enrollment forms that we have to do every month. We have to fill out every year, we have to renew them for the homebound and the congregants both, front and back. That's just something that I have to keep up to date. If any new come in, fill it out, send it all in. Just shows you our meal This is what our Trio provides for our senior center that we don't have to pay for. So every week I sit down on Friday, send out whatever, like check off whatever we need for the week. They send it on Monday, all that good stuff. Trying to be quick. This is our donation sheet that we do. Any donations that we get, I have to date it, write down the donation that we get, sign it, and then I usually get my 2 drivers to sign that, just a witness that that was what we brought in. Turn all that into Samantha as soon as I get it. This is our an example page of our IDT tickets that I have to fill out every day and email those into East Alabama every day. This just states, and it states in the paperwork that I sent you, the temps that I have to go in and check every morning, of course, with the refrigerator, the freezer, all that good stuff. We have to check the temps when our food is delivered here, and then we cannot serve the meals until 11:30. So our meals are brought in, temped, put in the refrigerator or the warmer, and then at 11:30 they're taken out and temped again to make sure they're still up to par, and then we're able to serve. So we have to keep up with all of this and sign it. If we have any replacements, if they don't send us enough, whatever. I have had to go to Country Boys to get like chicken fingers or anything like that. Anything that doesn't temp up to par, I have to replace. Whether it be a meat, a vegetable, fruit. I mean, I have had to replace rolls before. So, but then they always reimburse us our money for that. It just shows you there. This is another thing that is required from East Alabama, which is our nutrition waiting list, which right now we don't have any new people to add to our waiting list for the month of March. This is just an outreach. If I talk to anybody about anything that's going on at the senior center as far as a new participant or anything like that, I write them down, send all of this into East Alabama. This is our nutrition ed. I have to go over 4 topics a month with the congregants and the homebound. I am able to send the homebounds out, which every month I send out this pamphlet. Like I make one, and it talks about like the donation. It has our menu for the month, our activities that are going on for the month, and then it also has like the nutrition program and we send all this out. We get to count that. We send it out to all 38 of our homebounds. We also do like classes like on March the 7th, we went over foods with vitamin B12. I mean, it's just something that I have to read over. If they have any questions, answer questions, kind of give them a little pop quiz, whatever. We had 15 congregants that day, so I count that, put it all together, tally it up, put it here, put it in Ames at the end of the month. Email it all in to Sarah.
How many congregants do you typically have?
It differs every day. I mean, 15, 18, it might be 4. I mean, you never know. If the weather's bad outside, it might be 4. If it's a pretty day and you have something great planned, it might be 17. I mean, you never know.
So the ones that say it's from 17 to 4, the ones that don't come, they just don't get a meal.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And they're trying to narrow it down to where if you don't come every day, then they're wanting to cut it out and not serve those. They really want the ones that are there consistent. But if right now we're getting 50 meals and we're only serving 38 homebound, so that leaves us with 12 meals there at the center. And of course we don't have, like, everybody's not going to eat every day. I mean, most of them are very picky eaters. they'll look at it and they're like, no thank you. But then there's some days that it's really good. And I wish we could get more meals, but it's just not where we could feed them all sometimes. This is
And that's 5 days a week?
Yes. This is our public ed. This is just where I go out and find anybody that will come in and speak, do anything. We write them down, what activity they had going on, the dates, how many congregants we had on that day to show up for that. It's another thing, you tally up the numbers at the end of the month and put it in Ames. This is another. this is the deletion and additions that we do. We don't have any for the month of March so far, thankfully. And then, additions, but we haven't added any. Now, as far as aims, this just kind of shows you like a printout of the program that I have to enter everything in, and it just kind of tells you step by step how I have to enter it. I mean, I don't even know if any of y'all are even interested in any of that. Cleburne. This is our sign-in sheets, and you just have to highlight like who gets the meal at the end of the week and who don't. I have to send this in to East Alabama. These are our sign-in sheets for the homebound. The drivers have to initial, and then they of course can initial for the homebound. The homebound doesn't have to sign, but then it's just saying that they received their meal for the day, and that's for both routes. There.
But you scan those in fax, I mean, not fax, email.
Yes, every week I have to do these. Well, there's several pages that I have to scan, and email into Amanda, and then the, other nutrition part and outreach I have to do to Sarah, which is also.
So, Tasha, is that, the aims, is that daily that you do that?
Mm-hmm.
So some of it's daily, some of it's weekly?
Yes, and
Okay.
even some of it's monthly, like, I mean, it.
Like what you and I do
yes.
is monthly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then none of that even has anything to do with what I have to send Samantha to send in to East
Right, right,
Alabama.
right.
So this is just what I have to send in to them. And then I also created the this, which is basically showing, and I really hope y'all can see it because I had a hard time. This is where we are serving here. So this here is the senior center, and this is both routes combined, basically showing where we go. We go all the way as far as almost to I-20 to deliver a meal, and then Trickham, and then these two spots here are in Randolph County. I have reached out to Woodland Senior Center, and they will not deliver to them.
Why not, I wonder?
Said it's too far out. I don't know, too far out. But this right here literally is right across the bridge. These two spots right here are. So this right here is the total of 29 stops that we have to make, and then we have the 38 homebound, which that just means like multiple glued together that get the meals. But these are the spots that we have to stop Monday through Friday. Okay. And all of these, just about all of these have been on here since I've been here. I have added a few, and I do have a waiting list, and I didn't even bring it tonight, but there's like 4 that's on the waiting list. So as soon as I have somebody to come off, I can add, but like whenever I add, I really take into consideration where they live also at the same time. And I know that sounds ugly because like you might be first on the list, and then Mitzi might be 4th on the list, but if Mitzi lives closer to us, then I have to really give that to Mitzi because we're going by there every day anyways. So we're not going out of our way to do that. So I know it kind of sounds unfair, but also I have to keep it inside.
This is good, this is a good visual, I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
Lets you know how many, that's fine.
Let's see.
So the new car, how's it working out?
Do we have an update?
It's supposed to be ready Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, they're going through it. Okay.
So we're still just at the one vehicle right now.
Okay.
Which is, we're running over our limit every day per East Alabama, but we're getting the meals delivered.
And so y'all are using, right now y'all using the truck?
Yes.
That's what y'all using?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yes.
working out okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's working out okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, what's going on with the car?
I got the mechanic looking at it in Carrollton, just to make sure everything's all right.
Did it not crank one day or something? Is that what-
Yeah, it didn't crank, and so Chris just told me that'd be best to let Bob Freeman of it to look at it. And so that's where we are right now. I'm waiting on
Who's that?
He's a mechanic in Carrollton. Yeah, a lot of people are using that here. I've been using it a long time. I know it.
Well, since you're there and you know all the ins and outs that goes on, and I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, but do you have any suggestions of what we could do to make things better, easier for you, your folks? Any ways that we can be, not take away, any way we can do anything more efficiently?
Fiscal management better.
Right.
Do you see
Do you
anything?
see anything? I mean, you're in the midst of it.
Right.
And we can't sit back here and say, okay, we need to do this, that.
Right, and we have sat down at a lot of these areas here, because the routes were created before I came, so I was just taught the routes. So we have sat down with my new drivers and we have come up with shortcuts. You know, we may have to take a dirt road or two, but we can get in and out, and we have been able to shave a few miles and shave a few minutes, and so that's just something that we've tried to do. And of course, you know, kind of making from here on out, making our circle a little smaller
Close to
instead
a
of,
little more.
I mean, I love these dearly, and truly, one of these truly need these meals real bad. But if ever they came off, I'd never go back out that far again. I mean, that's
So,
so far.
your future, what you're saying, and you know, reality is reality, you would like to see that circle get a little
Yes,
tighter.
yes,
Okay. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Here's these cards too, and I wrote my name and cell phone number on those. If y'all ever have any questions, I apologize, I have not done this prior to this, right?
No, it's fine.
You already have my number. I feel bad that I haven't already done this prior to this meeting already, but
No, you're
if y'all
fine.
have any questions, please reach out. We'd love to hear from any of y'all.
Tasha, you're selling your stuff short. Share with them some of your ideas that you
Yeah,
have
we're
for
wanting.
a few,
You're in the midst of it.
she has, along with the congregants, have come up with a couple of fundraiser ideas.
Yes, we have, and I actually have a lady, that I have, talked to over the weekend, and she actually reached back out to me today. We're gonna try to do that, start that fundraiser. She's coming up with a flyer tomorrow, and we're gonna try to do that fundraiser, beginning of April. No further than the mid-April. We're gonna try to get that fundraiser started. We've also talked about doing a cake auction, and I sent information to Samantha already about the cake auction, and then I saw where the school was doing one, and I was like, so we're gonna push it out a little bit. You know, we may do like around Mother's Day, because the school's doing theirs for Easter, so we may push it out maybe till May or whatever. And I have talked to my dad about doing a car show, and we spoke to Samantha. I mean, we have the parking lot here that we could easily do it in, and I mean,
What fundraiser are you just coming up? I didn't get it. I know you said cake auction, but you said somebody was coming with a flyer.
So she is Laurie Kitchens from Bowden. She owns Brush Strokes there in Bowden.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So she does like the pottery stuff with the kids' handprints and everything. She does lots of stuff, and she's came to me about doing Ranburne door hangers, anything like that. And then also they have a line of it's kind of like a Build-A-Bear type thing, but it's kind of their own line and their own brand, where she wants to be able to set it up at the senior center, and kids come in and make their own. And they're so cute. She has like little Ranburne jerseys and little Ranburne cheer outfits. And so, I mean, even if we don't make but $5 a bear off of it, it's better than nothing, you know. So, but we're supposed to get more information. She says to sit down and make that flyer out tomorrow, and then we'll get more information out on that.
And what's the name of her company? I think I remember.
Brush Strokes.
And your letter to your churches.
Yes, and I do not have that with me.
Hey,
but
it's okay.
I do plan on sitting down and coming up with a letter to present to all of our churches here in the community, because I don't think they realize that there is such a need for our senior center, because it's just never been broadcasted that, you know, there is a need there, which the town is always taking care of it, and end of the day, nobody said anything about it. So I would like to sit down and write up a letter to give to our local churches, just to see if any of them are willing to donate monthly or anything, you know, any donation of any kind, so. But I do not have that typed up before tonight. I would present it.
Thank you.
Tasha, I want, just on my behalf, we got an email this week, each city councilman got an email this week about how we don't visit and correspond with you guys at the senior citizen building. Well, first of all, I want you to know that when I leave in the mornings, no one's there.
Yeah.
And when I get home, no one is there.
Right.
I have gone up during the summer times, and I do plan, because I plan on being in Ranburne this summer. So it's not that I'm not visiting, you're not open, and that's completely fine.
Right,
Okay,
right.
and when I get a break, I usually leave town.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie, and you're not open on Saturday or Sundays, which is fine. So, when I do get time, and it may be June, I will come up there, and I have in the past come up there
Yeah.
during the summertime before you. And just to let you know that you got a table that supports you.
Right.
You got a table that physically, we see what you're doing, money management, but you just heard the lady talking about stuff.
Right.
Okay, and
Right.
that should send a shock, you know, into you, send a shock into me. So just realize that I like what you've done with the dots. We've never seen that. That's great. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And
So,
then with, you know, looking at, you know, because we do know we got to cut everywhere we can, not cut out, okay? But get lean.
Yeah.
Okay? Because of this, and then when we saw the report, we spend about $117,000 a year. The town spends $117,000 a year on
on the
the
same.
senior center. I never realized it was that much.
Yeah.
And I know, just like you said, the churches don't realize because town's always taking care of it, and they have. But I don't think people realize that the town is paying that much
Right.
out of the
And if
general
this,
fund, really.
you know, if the PJ stuff and all this kind of goes south, you know, we all have households,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
just realize. And no one sitting at this table is going and saying, hey, we gotta cut Tasha 20 hours, we gotta cut Tasha 10 hours, we gotta cut Tasha this, that. No, I'm sorry if the misconception ever came that way, because it never was intended for it to be that way. The intention was that was a work session talking money and physical responsibility. And when you have those, you know as well as I do, hey, ideas get thrown out there, that don't mean anything's concrete.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so just
It's
realize,
business.
yeah, it is a business.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and we're having to run it like one. And, but with your fundraisers and things like that, you know, stuff like that will offset a good bit of the cost. And going into the fall of the year with, heck, I don't even recall what they made a couple of years ago at that fall festival.
Right.
It was a humongous amount.
And I have had so many people to reach out to me and say, please bring it back, because they
Yes.
enjoyed it for the whole family,
Yes.
so.
It was great.
Kids and older.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
know,
70-year-olds,
you
yeah.
had all the way
Yeah.
to,
I didn't go to it, but I heard a lot of great things. So just,
it was good.
you're supported. The seniors are supported. I hate that I can't get up there during the times, because I love, you know.
You're not old enough to come yet.
Well, I know. Ain't Esther, ain't Doc, you know, they all up there. And so, I mean, you know, to sit there and just to talk to them, I don't care, you know,
Yeah.
just to play a game of rook and get cheated out of it. I don't care, you know,
'Cause
whatever.
I promise you,
And
they're in it
so-
to win it.
and,
They're in it to win it.
But you're supported from the outside, and I promise you, 3 to 4 days a week, I ride through Ranburne in the morning time, just to make sure it's okay, and in the afternoons I come by
Yeah.
too, and I circle back through the mornings when I jog, so you're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure are.
Appreciate it. I truly love what I do, and I'm truly thankful for the opportunity to get to serve in the town, and
It shows,
Yeah, I was about to say, you can see your
it
face.
shows,
Yeah.
it glows,
Yeah.
thank you.
or she glows, not
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Tasha.
You really
Thank
do.
you so
Like I
much.
said, y'all have my number, so y'all just text me with your names so I know who you are. I won't answer. Oh, I didn't even tell you about these, but, you know, it's just part of what we do every day, just keeping logs on. And another thing too that we had talked about is this was something that we were not even doing in the past, and that's transportation on the ones that come to the senior center that, does not have transportation or cannot drive. You know, if we can go and it's where I can pick them up in the mornings, which some of them I do, we get a portion of money for that, you know, and I document every bit of that. So if I take any of them to a doctor's appointment, if I take any of them to the drugstore, to the grocery store, anything, even if I don't take them, if I go for them and pick it up and take it to them, I get to write that down and I get to count that, and we're looking at maybe $1,000 more, just keeping up with this.
Is it just you that gets that you have to be the employee over, that you have to be the manager in order for us to receive that kind of funding, or?
Myself or my drivers.
Because I was curious, like if I come through Bowden and, you know, you text me, say, hey, Trevor, pick up this prescription of whatever or something.
But what I can tell you is if you do anything like that, I can put it on my volunteer sheet. So yes, we still get the count for that, but I don't get to count it on here. But it is part of our volunteer stuff that I get to count. And I don't really know money-wise what we get off of that, but I do know money is here on this part.
And the one thing that Tasha and I've got our fingers crossed, because when we sat down with her to review the contract, correct me if I'm wrong, Tasha, but she explained that there was a lot we weren't reporting.
Yes.
So Tasha and I, we are nibbling away. We put down anything we can come up with.
Everything.
So that hopefully next year, maybe we get more. I can't tell you for definite sure, but we're giving it a shot.
Well, that's like today I took my congregants to Jack's to eat lunch because poor guy, we had a sub driver today. He got to the center, realized that the door was open on his truck, lost all of our cold food going down the road. So then he gets there and he's like, I have no cold food to offer. The cooler fell out of the truck. And I was like, you mean like completely gone, lost it? And he was like, yeah, I don't have it, I'm sorry. So then he gets the hot food out of the truck, but instead of taking it from the the Cambrio warmers into the kitchen, which is what he's supposed to do, he took them out pan by pan in the parking lot and put them on his thing. Well, then he dumps all of them in the parking lot. So we had two pans that were not spilled or did not have food all over them. And then I get them inside and I temp them, and they were not even up to par with the temp. So I couldn't even serve what we did have. So I called Amanda from East Alabama and was like, never had this to happen before, what do I do now? And she's like, baby, you gotta call them home bill. I'm like, we can't feed them today, like, because our food comes from Gunnersville every day. And we are the last stop that he makes, and there's no way that we can get replacement in time. So she was like, I'm sorry, it's a bad day, it's a bad day.
What did the drivers do in that kind of event?
He just stood there twiddling his thumbs. He didn't know what to do.
Your drivers.
So they sat down with me to contact all of the homebound and just let them know, and then we had to clean all the mess up. So, what he left us with is what we had to clean up, basically. So, yeah, it was.
I'm sure he
Today was definitely a Monday. I felt really bad for him, but.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure he has to answer to East Alabama because of the contract that we sign every year. Around $65,000 of that goes, for that contract goes to the purchase of that food, or they have a contract with the one that brings the food.
Right.
Our contract around $75,000, something like that. And then what they do is we only get like 10%. That's what they told us the last time we talked to them. We only get like 10%, period. And
So we get about 7,500.
About 7,500. It went from 18,000 in 2021 to 7,500. I mean to 8,500, and then it was 7,500, and then 7,500.
Why the big difference?
Well, they never could really explain it to us. I had Lori from East Alabama to come and talk to us. This was back before Tasha, and explaining why it was different like that. And they said it was something that they did internally to make that decision, to just get it out to everybody, sort of across the playing field. Didn't matter how good a service center you were. It was just that they had to cut it to everybody.
And not only did they cut it, we kind of felt on our behalf of things that were not getting turned in by a certain time. Because like, even though I have all of this that I have to turn in to them, I also have paperwork that I have to turn into Samantha in return. I have to get it to her in enough time for her to get it to East Alabama before the 10th of every month. And in the past, sometimes that didn't happen, so we weren't getting that. But we are on track now.
Thank you.
Okay. Samantha?
And to East Alabama, we do have our quarterly review coming up next month. Next month, so Tasha and I will meet with her and take care of that, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to visit where are we with reporting and would it look like we're gonna, I mean, mine is financial side, Tasha does the, you know, the competence side. Anyway, so for me, this past month has really been focusing on court. We had our last court date here. That's over and done with. So immediately following, I went to Heflin, sat down in the office over there. All of us congregated and made sure that I have everything that, honestly, I was supplying them too much information. So I came back, I'll reevaluate, and they called today and asked for a spreadsheet with certain information on it. So I will have that to them by Wednesday, and I'm hoping to be able to close those files up. Now I will hold the files here till April 15th and allow people to come in and pay. It's a huge push to come in, clear it up before it goes to Heflin, because basically what's going to happen to our cases when they get to Heflin is they're going to owe a fine, it's going to look like it's late, and it's going to go into another office. They are not bothered or even anxious about what we're going to be sending over there, and I was so thankful to sit down with them and feel very comfortable about what we're doing. This is a great decision on our part, to be honest. I just think we're moving ahead. But at the same time that I went over there, y'all, I went to a clerk luncheon. It was the most informative thing, one of the most informative things I've done. To sit there with other clerks and understand just their day-to-day activity. I mean, they're just talking to each other, and I learned so much. I will not miss that again. I really will not miss that again, because I came back with little things I could check on, little things, but I also made some very good contacts for if we do have questions. I mean, some of these ladies have done this over 20 years, so they know things that it just pops up in my head. So great contacts that day too. And at the same time, I sat down with Tammy that day, so I made a whole day in Heflin. Did some PR, and it is something that I should do more often. Seriously, it's something that I should do more often, because it turned out to be, I just came back feeling, you know, like we're on the right track. It was good, it really was. And other than that, I'm just finishing up court. Once I finish up court, we'll move into full-blown budget and get that done.
Anything else?
Oh, no, that's all for me, unless y'all have questions.
Then we're gonna go to the old business. We've already discussed the thing with Avenue, with Yolanda. Going down to the next thing, we're gonna vote on the purchase of the body cams, for the quote that was made for $16,366.40 for the police department, for our police officers. We discussed this in the work session with y'all. Do I hear a motion that we accept to approve the purchase of this, these body cams?
Where was we sending money coming from? General fund?
General funds, where it's coming from.
We gotta have it. I'll make a
All at
motion.
one time, right?
We got a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
And Dennis and Christie.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The next thing, we discussed in the work session, vote to enforce a spending cap of $1,000 without council approval. This will exclude loans from automatic payment.
That was the only thing I could remember that we were gonna exclude. So if y'all can think of anything more general, like, I'm happy to.
Monthly utilities,
Yeah, utilities.
insurance,
Okay, hold on.
insurance and monthly utilities. I don't think we have a monthly utility that goes over 1,000, but
We don't. Well, other than gas.
Maintenance on the building, yeah, like that.
maintenance on the building, if it's over 1,000, didn't we say we
Yeah,
needed to,
we did.
or 1,000 or more?
Yeah, 1,000 more.
And look, on monthly utilities, now gas is gonna go over, because we paid $3,000, turn right back
Yeah.
around, and paid $2,000.
Yes.
Okay, so gas is included.
Utilities,
Yeah.
Okay, all utilities.
yeah.
Now, you saying that, Rodney, reminds me, you said that it's gonna be $1,000, the quote on this?
Yeah.
Said around is what it
Around.
He said around that, obviously, you know, we get up there and you may run into something else, but he's just saying, right, as a guesstimate, I guess you'd say, it'd be around $1,000.
Did he say what all he was gonna do?
He's gonna replace the, what he told me was he was going to replace the, screws in the, all over where it needs to be replaced, or they need to be replaced, period. That's just something that's maintenance on a metal building like this, and also the leak is, he said it was coming from a pan, from the air conditioning unit upstairs, and he said that he could fix that. We got some other things that we need to do, but it's not down here right yet, like, for example, we need a door on that basement down there, that's a locking door, where we got some things down there that we use like for Christmas and that kind of stuff. We don't have a locking door, it's just up there, you know, anybody can go in it. That's about the only thing I can think, except that when you come up the back, like go in the police department, that way, the way they used to, that ramp going up is sort of rotted out. We're gonna have to get that thing about at some point in time, if we're gonna use that, you know.
I was gonna say, do they utilize that?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Mhm. Yeah. It's really sort of a hazard in a way. You go out there and look at it, it looks like you could walk through it, or stick your foot through it sometimes, you know. It just needs some work on it. But that's just some other things that's got to be done in the future here. And I asked him, you know, how long it was gonna be. He said probably a couple of weeks before they could do anything, because they're stretched so thin. He's in pretty big demand right now.
And this is Bowen.
Yeah, Wesley Bowen.
We need to do something right now tonight if it's over 1,000,
Do what?
the roof, before next month.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know, unless we call a special call meeting. I mean,
Special meeting.
Well,
Special meeting.
Well, you know, when you
We
get
know the
up,
roof's
Well, I'm
gotta be
just saying
fixed, so
that-
we're gonna be able to
Yeah.
give us $1,200?
yeah,
Okay.
we found 1,200, 1,500, but, you know, we get $3,000, $4,000, I mean, we need to start getting some estimates.
yeah. But I was
I mean, I just don't like,
this
you
to
know,
mean that.
I guess what I'm talking about, something like that, I like to itemize, you know, and I know there's gonna be a plus or minus, but,
Well, it's sort of like when they fixed this porch out here. He didn't know, he told me, he said, I have no idea what's gonna run into here, because it looked like it may be rotting all the way down, and thank goodness it wasn't. But, you got that siding on there, and you gotta pull it off, and then get that, to find out where it is. So sometimes it's as you say, as an adjuster, you know, you have to have an open end there on it, because sometimes you just don't know. But I don't, my thing is on this, on the $1,000, I'd like some guidelines on that. If we're gonna say $1,000, which I'm okay with that, but if we're gonna do that, anything has to be approved, so you'd have to put it off till either having a fall meeting, you know, to make that decision, or you have to wait till the next meeting, and sometimes you just can't do that, you know. There's times will come up when you can't do that. So my question is, you know, how do you want to handle that, you know?
I guess a special meeting would be in the event of an emergency. Like, not
Right.
an emergency we gotta hurry up and do,
Yeah,
not in a hurry, but in an emergency.
right, and I wouldn't call one unless it was an emergency,
Yeah,
you know, I wouldn't do that.
I don't think anybody would have,
What?
has.
But I don't have a problem with $1,000 if, you know, if we just, all we know is that we're gonna have to wait until the next time, okay?
That person
And I
would
don't
need to
have, I don't
know,
have a problem with that.
that person would need to know, you know, someone would have to tell them, say, listen, give me an estimate, I'll carry it back to the council.
Right,
And, you know, if it's over 1,000, I can't do anything with it.
right, there
You
you
come
go.
in here at $999, I can write it right now.
Right.
But if it's 1,000 or more, I gotta get approval. If you want to bid, you do. If you don't, I'll get somebody else.
That's fair enough.
I'm sorry, but.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I don't have a problem with that.
I just,
If we don't do it and then make approval to pay,
ma'am,
we don't do it and then get approval to pay, we get approval on the quote and then do it.
Right.
yes.
Yes,
Get
right?
approval on the expenditure.
Okay.
So I hear a motion that we accept this enforcement spending cap of $1,000 without council approval.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion, there, second.
So,
Christie?
Yes. Yes.
All right. We can go on the backside. Mayor provided details on the sale of the old police department. Can we open a public bid? Well, I sent y'all an email on that. Did y'all get that from the league and from Rob Johnston? The only way that you have to have a public bid, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it says that if it's a council member or something like that, then you have to do it. But otherwise, you don't have to have a public bid. Got any questions on that or anything?
And we set the estimated value according to that email. According to that email, I was trying to find, I thought I had it. What he wrote back to you was that the council decides the value that we can sell it at. That's the way I read the email.
Well, it has to be for market value.
But we determine market value according to that email.
That's the way I read it.
That's the way I read it too.
Well, anyway.
A little odd, but.
Well, it has to be, and of course, this goes back to Chad Lee. If anything we do, we'd have to go through Chad Lee, and he'd have to go through the league and that kind of stuff to make sure that we're doing this properly. So they would look at that.
The council has discretion, appraisals cost to maintain, comparison of other similar land sale amounts, best offers, etc., in determining fair value, is exactly what he wrote you. So the town is not required to solicit bids for the sale of the property. However, the opinion just encourages competitive bidding. Doesn't mean you have to, unless an employee. But that right there says the council has discretion of land sale amounts, best offers, etc., in determining fair value. So we can determine fair value.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Well, that's what he wrote you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you about that, because that's gonna be a Chad Lee question. You know, when it comes right down to it, he would have to look at that and make sure that we're handling this correctly. And if that's the way it's supposed to be, that's the way it's supposed to be. And, but that'll be handled by him. Anything else on that? I'm gonna go down to the next one. Further discussion on tree brand abatement. Renew any additional information provided. Tammy Terry, she sent me and she sent some stuff, about that.
I think what we gotta do with that, now, I mean, interrupt you, but, you know, this is gonna be one of those ongoing things for a little bit until we all have a better understanding of exactly where, and Samantha met with Tammy last week.
Last Wednesday.
And they had a good conversation, tip of the iceberg, some good info, I think. But, you know, I think this is one of those continuous things every month until we get a better concept of what's going on. And I'm gonna do a better job after spring break, get a little better grasp on it myself, because I want to become more educated, to come back and talk to you guys too. So, you know, after spring break, I'm gonna work a little harder on it myself, because I want to know more about it.
I think that's an
Next week.
important, I think that is an important thing that's got to be.
I just think it's just further discussion in old business. Tammy comes up, Sam and Tammy meet. I'll go talk to Tammy or whatever.
Mayor, to provide update on repairs to roadway on Frank Cleburne Memorial, complaint received in January. That road, if we, I've talked with Lee Estes and Terry Hendricks about.
We're at
it.
them, where are you receiving the complaint at?
I assume that it's on the north side.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I would assume that's where it is, but, for that to occur, we'd have to have a grant of some kind on our behalf, you know, like we did down yonder on the south side. Now, I had nothing to do, the town had nothing to do with them going in and doing the spot patching like they did. That was done without, you know, talking to me or anything like that. But if we did do that, if we were to, let's say that we decided that we wanted to pave from 46 all the way to the town limits, we'd have to have a grant to do that. We could not afford to do that ourselves.
What's the complaint about? What is the
I
repair?
have no idea.
Who received the complaint?
Well, you said it was north and Frank Cleburne, is it this way towards
Yeah,
your
that
house?
way.
Yeah.
Towards
Well,
my
that
feed
was-
mill, probably up that road.
But who, I mean, I don't worry about who, but you don't remember what the complaint was?
Who's complaint?
It says you would update us.
This was.
Did they complain to you?
This was, I didn't put this on the agenda, but I don't know.
Okay, so the complaint came in January,
Okay.
and we have gone over and looked at it, and it is a run. I don't know how, I mean, I'm not a road expert.
Sure, it's okay,
But
just
somebody's
check.
driveway is completely washing, the road is washing over their paved driveway. And it's the right of way of the road. So like, we're responsible for it. It's on the right of way. Like if you had a drain pipe, well, the drain pipe's gone, crushed and gone. Or
I didn't
full,
realize
whatever it
that's what
is.
we're talking about.
And it's running over the paved driveway constantly.
Okay.
Well, Terry
Is
Butler
that
is
gonna be the
handling that
corner,
for us.
right down here?
Huh?
Is it gonna be the corner of 49 and we're, okay, it's not.
No,
Terry,
Terry Butler is working on that. to get
Terry
that done.
Butler has not done anything. This has sat here since January with complaint after complaint, and
Terry's just went back to work though. He had
Here we are.
surgery in January.
I thought Terry Butler was a water person.
But he's retired.
No, I mean, but why would he be? Does he
just
do
said-
road work
He just
too?
said he would do it. He said he would do it for us.
Oh,
And, so that's all I can tell you, because normally we have to depend on, in the past, we got a memorandum of understanding with the county to fix potholes or anything else we got. But, there was an issue about that. There was some question about, you know, whether or not they could do it to the satisfaction of the person that was wanting it, you know. And, so I went up myself and looked at it, took pictures, went and talked to Terry, because in the past Terry has helped us on, like down this First Avenue down here. He's helped us on that. He's done a lot of things for us.
You're talking
From
about,
the town part.
I must miss, I'm sorry, you're going back to this complaint?
Yeah.
That, okay, so where is it exactly? Is it at the end of First Avenue and 49?
No, it's at Louis' house, Louis Lowry.
Oh, okay. Her bottom driveway? Or the top driveway?
Both.
Okay.
Now, Terry called me and told me
It's the top
that,
driveway.
he called me, he'd been over there and looked
That
at
little
it.
house, dirt road. Okay.
And he told me he could clean out the pipe. He said, I'm working with Louise about this, and he said, I can clean out the pipe. He said, but if we have to go in there and put a new pipe in, you know, on that upper one. And he said, but the thing that really concerned him was going on past there, down that ditch. And then it goes down, there's another pipe down there, and it turns and goes by somebody's house down there. But he said that he felt like that he might have to put a pipe in there. He said, that's the only thing I know to do. So.
Well, what would the county charge us to go in and put two pipes? Does her bottom driveway have a pipe? I can't remember. What would it cost, what could we get a cost from Lee to come in and put two pipes and feed that water around?
Well, there was another issue that he brought up, and there is a gas line there, and it's not necessarily in the ditch, but it is next to the ditch.
Is that the Spire one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
that
Spire,
road.
yeah, Spire.
Is this in result of Spire?
No,
Okay,
now, this is something that's been going on
oh,
for
okay,
a while.
okay.
So we're trying to get it resolved, is what we're trying to do. And so,
But this came in January. We ain't had anything done yet. Next week's 1st of April.
well,
Okay. All right, I'm fine with that. Okay. Now I know where it's
Terry
at.
Fuller was doing it, he had surgery
Surgery,
in January, and
yeah.
he just now went back to work.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So we're
Terry
gonna,
just
we're gonna
asked
jump
him
on
about
this.
it.
okay.
Lee Estes said, it's not that big a deal, y'all don't want me bringing my big equipment over there to take care of this, and we took that. And Terry Hendricks just has been told.
Okay.
Okay. All right, jump in. Mayor to provide update on repairs on roadway on Georgia Avenue. Complaint received end of February. I have talked with Terry Hendricks and with Lee Estes, and he said that they have two options. They can either fix it, tear it up, and he said the problem is we don't have somebody to come in and repave it over it, he said we can dig it up, repave it.
Can I ask
What's the
again, where's it
problem?
at?
Where and then what's the problem?
Okay, I'm sorry. It's right past Chuck Smith's house and Steve's, and you go down that hill like that, and there's a culvert down there. It is breaking up a little bit, but he said it was not a urgent thing. He said the cover has not moved or anything like that. But he said it was gonna be a costly matter if we did have to replace the cover. He said, but we might get by with just fixing that, but he didn't have a clue how much it would be because he doesn't really have anybody other than the ones that they use like to do, this Frank Ledbetter down here. They don't have anybody that they can call on to do that repaving, I guess you'd say. That's the problem. And getting them lined up and all that kind of good stuff, that is the problem. So that's all I can tell you on that.
Would a repair such as that, is that what would come out of our street fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Talking about the street fund on that, the forest. I talked with Robert Nelson today. The money that was put in there, the $249,000 for Frank Ledbetter, we've paid one invoice of $177,000. But there's also for striping and he's gonna do an invoice for striping, and there was some other something. Then there's gonna be some money left over out of that at that point in time, Robert Nelson and I will get in touch with ALDOT or DECA, because we cannot technically spend that money on any other thing other than that. But he said in the past that they have told him that, you know, look, if you got it, if you can use it on something else, do it, but we have to get permission.
Yeah.
And so we're just waiting, the invoices that are coming in from them, he's waiting on the striping company to invoice him so that he can invoice us. And so, and it's the same company. Well, the ones that did the paving is one thing, and the one that did the striping is another thing. So we're just waiting right now for those invoices to come in. But that $249,000 was a grant from ADECA, and we have to make sure that it's sort of earmark, I guess you'd say. So it's in that, I don't know, it's in that fund somewhere or another. I don't know exactly how much it's gonna be left. Okay.
So part of that 87,000 is what's left
Yes,
over that?
right.
It's gonna be within that 41 control come out of that.
Okay, all right. I got that.
Okay, I want to go back to Georgia Avenue and realize that when the complaint came in, it was this big. It was this big, and it's just busting the pavement up, like the asphalt. It's just busting it up, it was this big. Well, now it's this big, and if you ride down there, you'll just see chips of it. So just understand, if we don't, like, the problem may get bigger if we just sit around and wait. So just understand that, and I'll just keep putting it on here till we've got a quote or something and know that we're moving forward.
And we're
If
very
that's
limited as to who we can get to do that too.
I'm gonna go by and look at both that means.
Okay. All right, we got our, the renewal on the land, previously leased, is leased to the Rays. Their lease is, coming up for renewal. I have got the lease from Chad, and it included both properties, you know, the last we bought plus the one we had. Nothing really changes on it. It's just that you just have to change the dates on it. It's not due till the 30th, and at that time we will.
March 30th.
Yes.
March 30th.
Yes. And at that time, after the lease has expired, then I will get with them. We just need to approve the lease, renewal of the lease for this next year.
And are you, I know at the work session you were talking about, you can just change those dates. We're not gonna have to go through Chad Lee, correct?
Yeah.
We can just take what he sent,
Yes, he's already sent us. I mean, all we got to do is just
change the dates.
change the dates and get them to sign it. That's all we got to do, but we got to approve it,
Okay.
you know, to do that. So do I hear a motion that we approve that?
I'll make a motion.
So we got a motion, got a second?
Christie and
Yes.
Mitzi.
Yes.
Okay. Jump down to the new business. Been here, never did right. Approved payment for the state of Alabama for prior purchase of the senior center vehicle, the Chevy Trailblazer, for $1,693.
Okay, I was thinking that we were not gonna be voting on that since it's already a done deal.
Mhm.
I thought that you sent an
Well,
email that
this,
said we
I
would
didn't,
not.
you know, this was put on there, I didn't put this on there. But I'm just saying that if that's what everybody wants, you know, then we'll do that. Because technically, I went down there, I had no idea if we were gonna get the vehicle or not. I didn't know which vehicle we were gonna get, but when we got down there, Chris was with me, and, we said, hey, this is a great deal. Everybody that's seen the vehicle is just like, they can't believe it, you know? But it's for the municipalities, it's not for just regular, or anybody to get that. And, so that's a ridiculously low amount for that vehicle. It looks brand new on the inside.
Real. I don't think that I think it's a moot point for us to vote
I
on
do
that.
too.
Well, that's what I
Thanks,
thought.
but pay for it. I,
No, I don't think she's written a
It
check.
hasn't-
yeah, we
I have not
just,
written
we
the
didn't
check.
give her approval to write the check.
And I don't care if y'all just pass it by, y'all are all aware at this point, because it will
Yeah.
show up on your next month. And it'll be over 1,000, and I just don't want y'all looking at it and
Yeah.
thinking, well, what the heck were you doing? But if y'all don't want to approve, I can just make it a note in the minutes, and I'm good to move right along.
Okay.
All right. This next one here, again, it says approved final payment of senior center renovation in the sum of $4,352.27. This was part of what we voted on back when we did the grant for the senior center. We had a $30,000 match. So we done voted on this, so we don't have to vote on this.
You don't
Okay.
necessarily have to vote, but what I want you to know is that we have received a $44,000 check. And at the end of the month, when you have your big figures, you're gonna see it jump up $44,000. And I'm gonna turn right around and write checks out of that
Okay.
as soon as they come, but I haven't gotten the invoices yet. So when you see that elevated, you're gonna know.
It's gonna be like,
That is strictly for awareness, guys.
okay.
And then obviously 4,300 will come out of our general fund to finish it up.
So you get the check for 44, we're gonna write about 44 out of it, and then we're gonna take another 43 out of the general
It'll be
fund.
48,782 total.
Total.
Yeah, I've gotten like the community consultant, the information, I know what to do. Got the check, put it in the bank today, but all this, like on those, how y'all like to look at the total at the end of, it's gonna be elevated by 44,000, but it'll come right back out.
Okay.
And I just want y'all to be
Then that's
aware.
it? That's it? No more paying on them? We done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Glad it's done.
Let me too.
Gee, that's been-
All right, the next thing is approved for donation of $6,000. It'll actually be an appropriation, not a donation, but appropriation for the $66,000 to the raise. It's got a rec department, but it's to the raise for the 2024 season.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion, here a second.
Second.
Okay.
Christie and Dennis?
Yes.
Okay, vote to approve the Randolph County payment of $10,685 and release of any further obligation by Randolph County for hire of former police officer, James Stiles.
Okay, I had a question about that. I thought the invoice we sent them was quite a bit more than that.
It was $12,000 what we initially, we ended up, it was $12,000 we sent to them, it was $12,500. They came back, and of course, Chad and I were working with them on this, trying to get it. And they come back and they said, this right here is what we can pay. Chad and I talked about it. He said that, in my opinion, he said you need to take it because your only other option is to bring it to a court, to go to court, to get the money. And he said it'd cost you more than $2,000 to go to court.
I was
So it's
thinking it
sort of
was
renovation.
20-something thousand. Was I wrong about that?
Well, initially it was $20-something thousand, but then they came back and said that they didn't want to do that, so we cut it out down to 12.5.
So how did we get, so I guess, because I thought, am I?
Well, they
thinking-
were just, they
What
were,
was in the 20-something, because we're looking
we
at
had,
$10,000 less that we're gonna be getting than what we billed out.
well, I understand that, but what it was, we put down like, the chief's salary as like a substitute for her, while she was in school and that kind of stuff. That was one thing. There was just some things in there that they just said, no, we ain't gonna do this, So we come back with 12.5,
Why did we put the chief's salary in for
Well-
the invoice for Jamie?
Well, we thought that maybe we could get that. That was sort of like just throwing a dart out there, see if we could get it, because it said that we could pay for a substitute to take,
Take her place here. work.
take a replacement of her being in school. So that's the reason why it came down. But But anyway, that's what Chad told me. He gave me the check, I went and picked it up, he gave us a release, it's sort of like a release for Randolph County. And I was a little bit hesitant to even say anything and I talked to Chad about this because in that release, it says that the town will be releasing her from any obligations. You know, and we hadn't settled on the dog yet, on the canine. So I didn't want to do that until we settled on the canine. And
See, that's just,
So that's a material we didn't have, we didn't know, that wasn't shared with us. So it's, I mean, I understand, I mean, the $20-some thousand too. I didn't know that we had a bargain too.
Yeah, I didn't, yeah, because that's a substantial, I mean, it's half of what we billed them. So it sounds like we either inflated the bill or we're giving them a huge discount.
Well, it was inflated.
Yeah, it was inflated.
It was inflated. Well, we was hoping.
The state law is very clear that you can charge any food or, I don't know the verbiage, but you can charge any meals and you can also charge who was covering while she's gone. Very clear.
But they didn't pay that. But we can, okay.
But we don't want, and so did we get, the dog contract
Yeah.
re-signed?
Now, listen, let's go back up here just a minute on this
Okay.
right here on the 10,000. If y'all don't want to approve this right here, you have the right to do so, but I just have to go right back to Chad Lee, take the check back to him and say, the council said they don't want to take this right here, and the only other avenue you got is to follow suit.
I'm not complaining about it, I just thought that,
Yeah.
I thought that it was 20-something thousand, and I just wanted to know why it's half the price.
Right, I
I
understand.
mean, I don't have a problem with it, and I don't wanna do that, I think it would look bad on our town. It's just a really bad PR
Yeah.
move, but I just felt like, we needed an explanation as to why it was so much less.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Did the 3,000 for the dog, is it paid?
The
Good.
money has been paid, they brought it in, she brought it to us. And there was a lot that went in behind that Chad Lee and I were working on, behind all that, the scenes of all that to make that occur. And, she brought in $3,000 in cash that we approved. We had already approved to accept this. She brought in $3,000 in cash. And then, we had Chad Lee had sent me, right before she walked in the door, he sent me an updated release. And so we got the release signed, I notarized it, Dennis witnessed it, and I sent it to Chad Lee and I asked him, was it okay? And he said, yeah, looks great to me, you're okay. And so we got it. I don't think that money has been deposited yet. We did.
did Chad Lee notice that the contract was not dated?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, if y'all want me to, this is a deal between me and Chad Lee. If we need to correct anything, then I'll tell him, you know. If we need to correct anything, we'll go back to square one and, you know, and say, we need to correct this right here. And I don't think that'll be a problem whatsoever.
Is everything on your desk signed, dated, documented, all T's crossed, I's dotted?
I have, Rodney and Dennis brought me, after following the email, they brought me the original with the, yes, but it's not dated. We do not have one that's dated.
So it's just missing the date.
It's got the month and the year.
Yeah, it's got the money.
Just don't, it ain't got the date.
So if Finna bit somebody today,
Well, we're still, well.
because isn't that the whole big deal is that she bites somebody?
Well, what I'm saying is that Chad said that it was okay, there was nothing wrong with it. Well, what I'm saying is that if y'all got a problem with that, I'll go back to Chad and tell him, saying, look, we need to get this corrected, or whatever it is, it's not dated. Well,
I don't think it's something Chad has to do, I think it's something that,
no, it has to be handled by him. We're handling that. In other words, he's having to do it, he's been involved in this since day one.
I know that.
Yeah, and,
But what I'm saying, it was the notary, you notarized it, and
Yeah.
you didn't date the notary is not dated. It's not anything to do with Chad Lee. It's that when you notarized it, you did not date it.
well, I can get back in touch with Jamie, get her come back in. I've got the same release, I can get her come back in.
I think it would be smart.
Yes,
I think it would be
to
smart and
have the
safe.
entire
And I
document.
sent y'all emails that day, you know what day it is and that kind of stuff. It ain't like that we're trying to hide.
We know what day, but
Yeah.
the legality, that we've been thrown to us
Yeah,
is that when we see something not completed, I'll be darned if I want to,
well,
so I,
Sam, did you deposit that money?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
so,
I just want whatever
well, I could,
Pam,
Jamie.
Jamie signs and has, that we have the same thing, and it's all binding, and it's all agreeing, and Sam don't have anything sitting on her desk that's just blank pieces of paper, that when it comes back, we don't have it.
yeah.
why don't we just see if she'll come back?
Well,
Let's
I
get
could-
it
I think that would be the safe
Yeah,
thing to
right,
do.
so
Let's get it all,
And
let's
just
get
move
every
on.
T crossed and I dotted, let's
That
make
was the
sure.
only thing on there. And then Chad he didn't see that or whatever, and it was just a
But we
mistake on our
knew,
part.
we
just-
missed it that day.
We just,
Well,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
it's-
okay,
I mean,
things happen.
it's kind of
yeah,
Bam, bam, here you go,
different.
sign here, let's go.
a little
Yeah,
awkward.
okay.
sure.
I mean,
I'd
But we
rather
don't
have
wanna go
everything.
through all of this legal fees and all of this debacle
just
to not
get,
have it right.
just
You know what I
see
mean?
if she'll
And
come
that's
back
fine.
and
I don't have a
re-sign it.
problem with that. I can get in touch with Jamie. She's been
I
easy
believe she
to work with.
will.
Okay,
She was very nice that
Yeah.
day,
good.
and so,
Okay,
I don't see no issue.
okay, well, good.
We got your money and it's in the bank, and
Mhm.
On this payment of the $10,000, we need to approve this or whatever you want to do, because when they sent that, once I had, had the dog, what I thought was, okay, and I still believe it is, but if you, but this money right here, I have to sign off on it to Randolph County for their release, and then it has to be attested that Samantha received that money. Has that money been deposited yet or anything?
No, I won't
The
deposit it until you
$10,000.
approve. I mean, that is, you're signing a contract if you sign the back of a check and deposit it. It's just like a contract saying, yeah, we good.
So as soon as we approve it, you can deposit it.
So I hear a motion that we approve this, or what do y'all want?
I make a motion, we do approve it tonight.
I second.
Okay, got a motion and a second, okay.
And Trevor and Mitzi.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you're gonna get Jamie to come back in and redo that contract, right? Or that
I
fee.
feel like we need to.
I do too, to make sure everything's good.
And give her I'm sure she got a copy of it.
She did.
Okay, so, and then, so
Yeah,
we
you
can
Give her another copy,
give her a copy with it, maybe.
and I believe she will.
Yeah.
I do too.
This approved payment for $41,000, I don't know where that's coming from, on that $41,000 for resurfacing the County Road 49.
The invoice was sent to the commissioner. And so they just sent the invoice to us. And
Oh, okay.
last time what we did is we paid the commissioner and they paid it. But they're asking us this time just to pay direct.
Right.
Okay, that's cool.
And
The
I
main
will
part of that
take,
grant, right?
that will come
Yeah,
out
that
of the
comes out
street
of the
fund.
Street fund.
The balance today was 85,000, so you'll deduct 41 from that.
Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Sam.
Do we have a motion, do I hear a motion, we approve the payment of this?
I'll make a motion.
Got a second?
Second.
We all second.
I
Okay,
think
good
Mitzi was
enough for me.
first. Mitzi was first, second.
Nancy jumped me gun.
Yeah, you're asleep over there,
I
then.
tell you about it.
It's got to have a discussion. I had asked that we, for a vote on the annexation of River Road in the city limits for tonight. It's got down discussion, but I had asked for a vote on that. Do I hear a motion that we accept these, to come into the city limits?
I'll make a motion.
We got a motion, here a second.
Second.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome, city boy.
You
I think you can get a lot more on that road, just say.
You're
Do what?
Ranburne.
So I think you can get a lot more on that road.
Your taxes just tripled.
And we got a raise.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's
You'd
right.
be surprised how much,
0.00.
how much little it is on, you know, for your city taxes. It's really surprising how little it is.
I think it's like 0.5% or something like that, it's not very much.
Do we, the next thing is, I had down here, I asked for, again, not discussion, I asked for approval for purchase of a vehicle for the senior center, a second vehicle, since we're getting them at this ridiculously low price. They told me down there, that they needed, that the cars that they had down there, and they change, you know, all the time, have them lined up and everything ready to go. And I said, well, how much are they, you know, how much are we talking about here? And he said, well, it's inside the windows on each one. He said, but typically for a municipality like this, he said, these vehicles will range anywhere from $600 up to $2,000. But it's inside that, so we definitely need a second vehicle for them. The truck is being used, but at the same time, it's higher up, and they're having to get in and out of that high truck to deliver these meals and all. And so we need a small, like what we had, you know, we had that sedan. They had a bunch of like Crown Vics down there. They had like a nice looking Impala Chevrolet sitting there. Just vehicles like that, but they're available for us, and I'm just asking that we're in need of one and second vehicle, because I sent y'all what Tasha told us, if you'll remember that. I sent you a text message about that, about the fact that we do need a second vehicle.
But that was the vehicle she was I thought she was referring
No.
to the vehicle that you just bought.
No,
Which one were you referring to? The vehicle that was
We
just
just
bought?
needed the two vehicles for deliveries, which we have the truck and the second that he purchased.
yeah.
So the truck is
But
working out
we have
okay?
not been using the
Yes.
truck, that's the problem. The truck,
But
like
we're
I
using
say,
the truck
it's
now.
an issue, it is an issue of doing it when you go out there, because having to get up and down out of that big truck, out of that truck to deliver those meals. And it's different than what we had. We had a Kia and we had that Crown Vic, and both of them have now died.
How long have we been using the truck for deliveries?
When did that kid die?
2
months ago?
2 months.
2 months,
Yeah.
yeah.
Has the
5
driver,
months.
has the driver complained?
She hasn't to me.
Did she complain to you?
She loves it.
Did the driver complain to you?
Yes, you did.
And what did she say?
It's just that getting up and down out of it, because you got to reach up this higher up. And getting in and out of that vehicle is not the same as getting in and out of a Kia, or getting in and out of that Ford Crown Vic. They just said they need a second vehicle. That truck was given to us, it was donated to the senior center. It was not donated to the town in general, but it was donated to the senior center by Southwire.
Yeah, I remember when that came. That was Jenny's mother or something,
Right.
was able to get
But we do have the availability to get something, you know, that's more comfortable with what they want. So,
I'll speak with both of my girls to see
yeah.
who has the issue with it or whatever.
I'm gonna vote to table
The lady that is driving the truck drives a Jeep every day, so I don't,
So she's getting up and down.
Maybe it was the other driver that.
But no, you
but
did-
she's
you
not
did
even
ask them,
driving
didn't you?
that, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
She's already asked y'all.
Why don't we just table?
I'm gonna vote to table that.
Hey, what about the bus? Was it today the end of the sale?
Yes, and I got an email from her, the highest bid we had on it was $11,000. She said that they would go back and put it in the system again. I don't know if it's the economy, I don't know what it is right now, it's cost of interest rates and everything else. But this was the first time I've ever had to deal with gov deals, and they really are helpful. They're the ones that helped us with that. I had a bunch of questions that come in, I had to answer them, you know, like how high was it, and how long was it, and,
What was our reserve?
30.
Our reserve was 30 or 34?
32,
Because,
what you said.
see, we gave 32 for it.
Yeah.
And I was told when we got that, I know that Matt Crossan had bidded on that bus on another, like, gov deals, and he had bidded like 42,000. He said that that bus was a $50,000 bus. He said, y'all got a great deal in it. And they were actually like 37 off of Facebook Marketplace. And then when we got up there, and they told us that because it was for the senior center, it was a break.
So is the reserve 30 or 32?
It's 30.
Because we said 32 the other
Oh, I'm
night.
sorry, but
And
it's
they have
30.
already dropped it back on there, and we have 2 bids at $4,000. It closes on April 4th.
And the way they told us,
when?
April 4th?
and so that y'all understand what they told me about the way they do that, is that they start off with a low bid. And then they said that way it gets people's interest and everything. And as long as you got that reserve there.
It's not.
So my question is, what would you put the reserve at? You know, that was just a question that was asked. You know, 'cause we gave 32. And and it ain't like it's something that's got to happen right away or anything like that.
At least it's on there till the 4th, we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right, y'all,
I mean, y'all
I'm
won't-
just
I'm a
trying to
watcher.
explain to
Yeah,
you.
We
watch.
send it out to y'all.
No, you just tell us
Okay.
when it
Spent
reaches
up
50,000.
Daily on
Daily.
the bus.
I'm all about some bidding.
All right.
Start
Okay.
bidding on it.
Yeah, bid on it. Buy it, Tucker.
I'm too tired for that.
Buy it, Slim.
No.
Get a good deal. Yes.
I got down here, discussion of 2023 legal fees and any fees due to date. I have no idea about that. And
So that was what, I had mentioned in the
Right,
email
yeah.
to everybody, and, I didn't receive a response except for I felt like it irritated you, and.
no, no, it's not that. It's just that the legal fees, when we talk about legal fees like that, and discussion about the legal fees, that is an attorney thing. And there's other things that they charge legal fees for. I mean, in the past, if you look back and see, and he's real bad about not giving us a bill.
Until the end.
Until-
Yeah, and I know, and
yeah.
and I'm not an attorney. I have
Yeah.
never pretended to be. Maybe I'd like to be one day, in my next life. But I think I just wanted to bring it to conversation of every single time we send him an email, or every single time we make a phone call, we're billed at $175 an hour. And I feel like sometimes we might not need to call him every single time something comes up. And I would really like to know how much money we spent on from this year, and Sam has, contacted him and he hasn't gotten back to her. Thus far, how much have we spent just in the first 3 months? Just to be not arguing, I'm not complaining. I just feel like it's something else. I mean, we spent $9,700 last year. It's just to be mindful that every time we send an email, he's not answering us out of the goodness of his heart. And every time we call him, he's not answering and talking to us because he wants to know how our day is.
Yes, and I promise you that I will never contact him unless there is a legal issue going on, what we need to know. And I have a prerogative to do that.
I understand that, and that's
And
fine.
And I'm not, I'm not just calling down there to just be or send them an email or a text message or anything like that, it's always for a legal question.
And I understand that, but just like with the document that only has to be dated,
No reason to get in touch with him on that.
don't get in touch with him.
We can
He
do
said he
that.
had a copy,
I know, but he was going to.
but he's gonna ask him about the date.
I know, there's no
Well, I
reason
know,
to do
but
that.
But he needs to know that there is a problem with that, because he was involved in this whole thing with Randolph County, and there's a lot you don't know about that.
I know that.
And,
But the problem is not the date on the notary.
yeah, but that's being pretty picky to say that I can't get in touch with, I don't.
Now, Rodney, I didn't say you can't get in touch with an attorney.
Yeah, but you're telling me that you don't think I should call him about this issue with her, you know, about getting in touch. I'm gonna let him know, because he's dealing with Randolph County too. And,
I guess what we're saying is that, I mean, even me looking at it, is that if we could just limit what we talk to him about, I mean, an hour, and, I mean, and probably that 10-minute phone call is probably with me. I don't know, because it says with the councilman, on the back sheet.
Yeah.
One says 50 minutes.
I didn't talk to him, I ain't got that much time. But, you know, like an hour and 5 minutes, and, you know, an hour, another hour and 5, hour and 15, you know, a lot, well, I'm talking about just phone calls. I'm not talking about meetings.
I guarantee you one thing, I have never talked to him for no hour.
He's got it documented, you have.
Well,
And that'd be don't call him in fuss with, because that'd be another, you know, he might charge us an hour to do that, but
And I want to again say, I am not asking anybody to not call him. I just feel like if we're trying to get lean, I just feel like we need to be mindful that every single time we send an email or every single time we make a phone call, it's costing us at $175 an hour. That's fine if we need it. And I just kind of wanted, I'd never known how much we were spending. Wonder what we spent in '22.
Well, if you notice, we've never known this before.
Yeah.
You know that.
And I
think it's great that we're doing
I
this.
think
It
it's
should
being
be
more
eye-opening.
responsible.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be more responsible.
But 4,800 of this is court time.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of that. I know a lot of it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
is,
don't,
There's 28 and a half hours that's non-court time.
yeah.
And
I
for a
would
year,
never
I
call
don't think
him.
that's much at all.
And well, see, I would
Most
die.
of it was at meetings here.
If I spent that
2
much.
hours and 4 hours.
And so I thought, when did Billy Jackson start being our attorney at court?
I have no idea. Oh, he,
That was when
They
Chuck
don't-
was here, was it?
he's never, he don't do, he don't.
Billy Jackson, I thought he did our court.
He was,
No, he just
he
represents.
He
represented somebody,
represented.
if somebody
He
needed.
represented.
The defendants. Okay,
We don't pay him, they pay him.
okay, all right. I thought that he was the new Chad Lee.
No,
Okay,
no, we have to vote on who our attorney's gonna be.
okay.
Yeah, we would vote on who our attorney is.
Well, I thought y'all may have done that before I started.
Mm.
I didn't know. Okay. Well, I want you to know, Rodney, that I am fine with it. I don't want you to be mad at me for asking about that. I'm just
No,
trying to be
that's
responsible.
okay, and I think that's it, but I just want you to understand that I have never, ever just called down there to casually talk to him about anything. It's been for legal reasons every time.
Well, and I believe you.
Yeah, and I'm not, you know, that's my point. I just want to make that clear.
The league might do it for free. They
The
may
league-
give us
the
good
league-
legal. The league does it for free. And they may give us some, you know, the codes and stuff, and we go by that.
Well, see, Chad is in contact with the league himself, over issues, whether it be the sale of property, whether it be leasing or anything like that, or anything like that. He's involved in that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Sam, for getting that for us.
all right, thank you.
I'll keep on it till I get this year's.
Okay.
I mean, every quarter even.
Yeah.
That's what I told his
I mean, or
secretary.
every, yeah.
I said, we
Just
just
so we
need
know.
something so we can kind of monitor where we're going from here.
On this other down here, that's a discussed means of disposal of property of 3 vehicles, actually 2. Because the only two I know of is the Kia and the, thing, and we've already done a resolution on the Kia to dispose of it as town property. Am I correct about that? I think so.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
it
we
was-
didn't,
I'm
but I
glad you
don't
know.
remember.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
Have we
know.
done it?
And then what are the other vehicles?
the Crown Vic, it just died. He had to come get it with a record. He put it up there at the thing. So all we got to do is just dispose of it, and how you dispose of it is like how much, you know,
Sell it for scrap.
how much can we get it, you know, for scrap or whatever. And we'd have to have help with, say, Chris or somebody like that to be able to do that. I know Ricky Pritchard, he donated that Kia to us. And I went and talked to him, told him what had happened, and he said, well, I'll come and pick it up. And so Chris didn't know he's gonna pick it up.
Okay, so what we have is, we have the Crown Vic sitting behind the senior center where it died. It died there, it's been sitting there ever since. And over at Steve's, we've got a Kia, and we have Steve's old car over there.
Steve's old police car?
Barry said that he did not want to do anything with Steve's car. That he wanted to use it as a backup for, like, if we needed it to block traffic and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm just telling you what Barry told me.
Is that
So
right there?
it's usable?
You
I
want
mean,
to,
it wouldn't be usable for out on the road unless he gets a seat. The seat is not even, driver's seat's not even fastened in the floorboard. Last time I had to use it, I just took off the rest of the week because I tried to get in that thing, and the whole night I'm laying like this, and every time I tried to get it set up, the seat would rock, and then I'd
Chris
fall
told
back
me
down, so.
that, he said, I don't even know what all. He said, I don't even
But
know.
it's gotta have a mirror on the side, but I mean, I would like to, I told him to fix the seat and put a mirror on it, that we could use it, just like if one of ours went down or had to go to the shop and we needed it for just a little while, we could use it, or use it for like the parades to put one of the reserves in just to block the road. I mean, it wouldn't be used for,
Chases.
yeah, it wouldn't be used for patrol or nothing.
For a 5K
Yeah,
block of road.
yeah, and stuff. I would really like to get just another one to replace it, just to have as a backup, you know, just something cheap to have as a backup. But I mean, right now it's not usable. But he had asked me, Mason had asked me if they wanted him to order a seat. I told him he didn't have to be in no hurry about none of it. But if he could find a seat or find a way to fasten it down and a mirror to go on the side of it to fix it, but if y'all don't want to do that,
What are we paying in insurance monthly, yearly on that thing? That'd be my thing.
I think that, we're paying liability only. I know that. And it ain't a whole lot, you know, for that liability just on that vehicle.
I don't think y'all will pay for tax for y'all's vehicles, do we?
No.
it's a one-time fee or something, I guess.
It's like $12.50, and then to transfer is $125. But the thing is, we've got 3 inoperable vehicles, one sitting behind our senior center, 2 sitting at Chris's. So y'all just need to start, the reason I put it on here, so y'all can start talking about, we just don't need to leave them all over town, sitting around in somebody else's way. We need to clean it up.
It's
The one at the
Easter.
senior
Let's-
center
let's
will
call it
have to
that.
be towed, because I got in it last Monday and tried to back it out of the way, and it will go in reverse, and as soon as you start to back up, it will give you whiplash. Like, it will automatically just stop the car. It will not back up out of, so it's gonna have to be picked up and towed off.
So we need to decide what we're gonna do with it before we tow it, or we're gonna end up paying towing twice.
What did we sign, what did we do a resolution the other night about one of these vehicles or
Yeah,
something?
disposal of surplus property.
All right, so it was just the disposal of the property.
Yeah.
It didn't actually identify the vehicles.
No, it says Kia. It's
Yeah,
on
we
the
did the
Kia.
Kia.
It's got a Kia, we don't have the Crown
Kia.
Vic on.
But
We
it's,
need to
and
do
the
a
Kia's still
resolution.
sitting where it is, so this is about what do you do with it. I can write y'all a resolution every day to get rid of it.
Right.
And y'all will approve it, and that's fine, but what are we gonna do with it?
I thought
gotta-
you said
Well, that would
Pritchard's
be-
was picking Kia up.
Do what
Did
then?
you say Pritchard's was
Yes,
picking
he
the
said he
Kia
was
up?
gonna pick
So
it
that
up.
one's took
So
care
that
of.
was good. Send that Crown Vic to the graveyard somewhere.
Get somebody's paper.
Well, that's what I'm
Gosh,
saying.
it's that
We're-
They'll
simple.
come pick
Yeah.
up.
Yes,
And we
they what?
get $200 out of it.
Yeah.
They come
Well, we
pick up.
might do it, you know what I'm saying?
Get rid of it.
Get whatever we can get rid of it.
And then Barry, you look at it for another month or so about the police car, and if you decide you're gonna get rid of it, let's just get rid of it. If you wanna keep it, keep it.
They
But
just
get
put-
rid of them other two.
Okay, who's gonna
Whatever.
take care of getting rid of the other two?
Okay, all right, so we got that.
Pritchard's
You
was
say
trying to get
who?
Kia.
Who?
About the first draft on the police budget.
What about who's gonna get rid of it? Are you gonna call Pritchard
Well,
to get the key?
Chris is gonna do he'll do the one for
Pritchard's Crown Vic.
the front bit.
Got
So that's gonna be Chris
Ricky's
Ledger.
gonna come and pick up the
Kia.
Kia that he donated to us.
Okay.
Okay, and it's been there for 2 months, so I'm gonna keep putting it on here till it's gone.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
All right. So, next thing on here is the first draft of police budget. I don't,
Is this it? Is this what you're saying?
Yes, no, here. That CSII thing, remember that was where y'all wanted me to get a detail of what we're paying?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay. That's just to look at then.
that's just for y'all's information, and I have taken care of the fax machine that was supposed to be taken off of the bill. The weird thing is you just get you get a one-liner from them, so shame on me that I haven't already whittled it down. But she's gonna go back and look to see the date we canceled the fax in my office and give me a credit on it, but it'll take a little while for that to run through the system. And again, I should have put draft on the senior center because I've also made a few little adjustments on it as bills came in or I noticed something. So at some point, y'all will get the whole package. And I'm hoping within a month.
I think this month for them.
It has a blue, well,
That's policing.
this is police.
Yeah, okay.
Senior center you got at the
Working.
Oh,
work
okay,
session.
okay, okay.
Session.
Oh, yeah.
And there was no reason to revisit it until
Okay.
we're to the point where we have the general and all our income.
I've got it now.
Okay, and I'm hoping by the next meeting, general comes in and then all your income, so that we can finalize it and say, here we are.
okay. Anything else on that?
Do y'all see anything that I didn't add? Barry has not seen it. Daniel helped me with it today. Seriously, I was doing it like, struggling. So Daniel helped me, and then I just threw in stuff, but Barry has not. I'm generous to you, Barry, but Barry has not seen it. So this is seriously just a draft. If we don't start getting something down, you know, we gotta start somewhere.
Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll say
Y'all not gonna bring up David Walker?
resignation.
Or that's just it?
No, we have to say.
Yeah, there's a process we have to do to replace him. We probably need to, add that on there, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I gave her 2 things to add to the next agenda. So she's gonna add David on there.
Now, say that again.
I just ask her to put 2 things on the next meeting for me. And then we also have to discuss David, the resignation.
Right.
Because there's a process,
Right.
so many days
Yeah.
that we have to wait before we can get his replacement.
Okay. That's not something I'm real familiar with, but,
When I came on, I came in with an application because I knew, that's when Tommy Jones had passed away, and I think it's pretty much legit, you gotta wait X amount of days. I'm not gonna spend 45, 60 somewhere in there, Ben, so I think, come on. It's a good place.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
been in the
so we'll have to, it's in codes, you can find it.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.